Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
Well, hello and welcome to whatever this show has now become. And we're here for another Saturday night. We still get more viewers than Saturday Night Live does. But anyway, welcome to the show, folks. And tonight I am joined by the one and only Genius Anus, who is in fact an actual talking asshole. People
Despite
don't believe me.
Despite everyone not believing that.
I mean, I've seen it. The cheeks talk. It's really kind of. It is a little disturbing and a little off-putting, but I've seen worse.
What my crippled friend is trying to impart on you is that I am actually a diarrhea of the mouth talking ass.
Yeah. Yes, and evidently one of my co-hosts, Akaba, he said he has family emergency, but I think he ran away because he knows that you're here tonight, and he's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to have to deal with being called a weeb for the next hour. But
That's because me and Akaba have our own little blood feud going on, because I, being a genius, a certified Mensa qualifying genius, have thrown down the gauntlet. I said, no, Street Fighter II Championship Edition is the best version of Street Fighter. And he's trying to come at me with some fucking heresy, but we all know he's wrong.
Well, he's also I wouldn't say we've had real beef, but he is a little disappointed because I still maintain that, yes, Johnny Silverhand is a great role, but it is not Keanu Reeves' best role, despite what Akaba would like to, believe.
It's not even his second best role, because his first best role is John Wick, and his second best role is Ted.
Well, thank you. See, we're already on agreement. We're already on agreement with that. So yeah, case closed. So.
The moral to the story is that Akaba's always wrong.
Well, not always wrong. Just 90% wrong. So, but anyway, other than gaming stuff, it's been a bit of a wild ride. What do you think of this whole thing with Elon, purchasing Twitter and supposedly shutting down free speech now? That's what the NPCs are now saying in regards to him taking over Twitter.
Well, honestly, for my $8, I'm pretty satisfied thus far. The salt mining on this has been phenomenal, and all he's done is fired a bunch of people. And in a hilarious turn of events, all of the blue-haired activists within Twitter are like, well, fine, if Elon's going to be the boss, then we're going to tank it with the advertisers and make the advertisers pull out. And Elon Musk's like, oh, wow, we're losing $4 million. Time for budget cuts. Guess what happens? You're fired.
Yeah, it's perfect. The other thing that I find hilarious is all of the people that are bitching out the $8 a month are people like Stephen King, and I think I saw something. I'm not even sure if she's on Twitter, but if it's true, I saw Winona Ryder, tweet something at it.
Who the fuck cares about Winona Ryder?
Well, who the fuck cares about Stephen King anymore either? More importantly, though, those are the people who are complaining about the $8 a month, but they're both multi-millionaires, and so it's like, yeah, you're complaining at $8 a month. That's you guys spend
I'm
more.
sorry. If Stephen King can't afford 1/3 of a Netflix subscription per month to get his check mark, then what is the that's the worst thing Biden has done then, because inflation is so bad that Stephen fucking King cannot afford 1/3 of a Netflix subscription per month.
Well, to which I would say, Stephen, you brought it up on yourself, you weirdo clown loving freak, because he's the
I don't
one
know.
that during the election was saying, "Oh, Trump." Well, I mean, he was just one of many, but he was one of the ones who was saying, "Oh, Trump's got to go. He's actually worse than the clown."
Here's my thing on Stephen King. Kind of like, this is kind of my nuanced take on a lot of people, because I tend to like people that fucking despise me in my very existence. I like Stephen King. I don't like everything the man's ever written. He is the writer's writer, and I still wholeheartedly recommend On Writing to anybody that wants to do any form of fucking fiction writing, because it's just it is a great book to read for writing. If you're a writer,
Yeah,
you really need to look into Stephen King. That being said, everything beyond like his just guttural knowledge of writing and everything, and again, I don't agree with everything he says, but you definitely want to read what he has to say about writing, because he's pretty fucking good at it. It's not to say
oh
that everything he
yeah,
writes is good, but he can teach you how to write without. One of the biggest things I hear about from most writers is that they just don't write. They're writers that don't write. And Stephen King can help you fucking conquer that, because just look at the man. He's wrote under pen names before and just cranked out novel after novel after novel. That being said, only about 10% of everything Stephen King has ever written is good.
he's also. Oh, I mean, I'm not criticizing him as a writer. He is fantastic, but I think what always and it doesn't irritate me because it's Stephen King, but uh he's one of these people who has the attitude of I'm a writer, therefore that makes me an expert on
Geopolitics, politics, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And
that was the second part of my thing is I like Stephen King as a writer and as a mentor to writers. I hate everything about him personally and politically. I could not sit down in a room and have a drink with Stephen King, because he would despise me. And again, I have a literal talking ass, so I would have to pick fun at him.
oh
And
yeah.
it wouldn't be that hard. Like, I would have him spewing salt from every orifice, and a few that made themselves known right then and there.
I mean, it's not that hard to trigger any of these people, really. I got under Keith Olbermann's skin a few years back just by pointing out that, like, he's not even on ESPN anymore. He's on ESPN2, and the guy actually, like, what got into a Twitter spat with me, and I'm just like, he's like, well, I'm more famous than you are, and I'm like, yeah, but you're Keith Olbermann. You
I mean,
you
Adolf Hitler is more famous than me, but I wouldn't be bragging about it.
right.
Fucking Pol Pot is more famous than me, but I wouldn't brag about it.
And
That's what I've never gotten about fame. Oh, I'm fame. I'm kind of a big deal. Yeah, you know what? So is every other atrocity throughout human fucking history, all right? It doesn't mean that it's a good thing.
well, best in the sector, though. Am I right?
From the mid on down, because we can't reach the top.
Yeah. So what
Not
I'm
talking about anyone in particular, but that tends to be the case when anybody brings up their statures. Or it's like, I'm kind of a big deal. Yeah, you know what?
yeah.
Smallpox was kind of a big deal too.
Yeah, even though it's small, who figured? Well, what boggles my mind is, I mean, nothing really surprises me anymore. But the mental gymnastics of all these people are saying, "Oh, well, Elon's Twitter takeover is going to be that's going to affect the 2024 elections." And on the one hand, I'm like, how? But on the other hand, I'm like, yeah, you're right, because hopefully the people who were silenced will now actually be able to speak,
I was
come
just
on.
say, worst case scenario, if we take Elon at his absolute word, everybody gets to talk. That's it.
Yeah.
That's if we take the man absolutely 100% at his word. Now, I don't think it's going to look like that. I don't actually align with the right or the left on this, because the left is just pissed off because we're not fucking in charge anymore. And then the right's like, well, he's actually not going to go full on free speech and let us make inward towers everywhere either. So that automatically de facto makes this a bad thing. Again, I'm more nuanced in the middle. I think he's going to do a lot more good than bad. And he's practically spelled that out when he said, if I know I've done my job correctly, if I pissed off people on both sides of the aisle. Because that's what you want.
Yeah, well, and Twitter was never like 4chan or Poll or any of these more edgelord websites to begin with. I mean, back in the day, it was just a place where you could microblog and
Well, I mean, possible unpopular opinion here, but I don't want it to be. I don't want all of social media to be fucking 4chan. I don't want every website to be Kiwi Farms, right? Like, there is a need for a slightly sanitized platform to just fucking talk and exchange ideas where it's not. Don't get me wrong. You can find some pretty valid information on 4chan, but you have to strap on a rubber fucking hazmat suit and a shovel and dig through all of the anti-Semitic. And I'm not even saying that the people posting it are, because it's always, mostly from my experience on 4chan, it's almost always tongue in cheek or they're literal crazy people, right?
Yeah.
But it is kind of nice to have a place to go to where you can exchange ideas without censorship, but you don't have to dig through racial slurs and epithets to fucking get to it.
Yeah. Well, and then, I remember when I first signed up for Twitter back in 2011, that there were there was more freedom on there, and you would get some unironic, neo-Nazis or something like that, but you would actually get people who were, who would challenge them on their opinions and be like, why do you believe what you believe? It wasn't this person is bad. I mean, obviously, their views aren't that great, but people would try and challenge them on stuff rather than say this person needs to be banned. And now, now we've gone the opposite extreme, and it's really fascinating to watch this whole Twitter thing, kind of not even like commenting on it, but just seeing how people react, because nothing has really changed and yet everyone's acting like everything's changed.
It's weird for me because it is funny to watch, even though it's happening exactly how I kind of pictured it would. Like, none of it was surprising. Like, everything I've seen so far is like following a fucking script that I could have wrote in my head 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago, before Elon Musk buying Twitter was even in the fucking ether, if you came to me with a writing prompt, all right, what would happen if Elon Musk bought Twitter? Go. Exactly what has happened that would be the script, but there's no fucking question in my mind.
Well, and for me, it doesn't even necessarily have to be Elon. That pick anyone else who buys, Twitter. If Twitter were to be ran by anyone outside of its current ownership, what would it look like? And it would look like what it looks like right now.
I'm honestly surprised. Though I probably shouldn't be, but I am honestly surprised that Trump didn't try to buy Twitter. And the main reason I think he didn't is because it's going to be really hard to turn a profit with Twitter. Like even
Yeah.
that's That's not even ideologically driven. Like turning a profit with a platform like Twitter is going to be a fucking significant challenge. And Trump, I'm not going to say he's lazy, but he tends to like safer bets. Like he'll throw fucking money into something, but only if it's pretty assured that he's gonna fucking make $1 off of it, right? Whereas Elon is more like, yeah, I'm probably gonna lose my ass on this, but fuck it. I've got all this money I'm never gonna fucking spend, and this could be a very interesting fucking thing to do. And you need people like that. You need crazy motherfuckers. Like money isn't an object, fame and stature isn't we're gonna fuck it. We're gonna have fun.
Well, and I think if, I don't claim to really know, exactly what Elon is thinking, but he seems like the type of guy, like you said, to buy it just for a laugh and as a social experiment to see what would happen.
If we found Elon's fucking diary, and in the entry right before he started trying to buy Twitter, it said, "Buy Twitter just to make fun of AOC," I would fucking believe it.
Yeah.
If it turns out that was the only thought that he put into why he wanted to buy Twitter was to be able to fucking dunk on AOC, I would fucking believe it, because he has that level of fuck you money.
Yeah, well, honestly, it's funny that you say that, because early on, that was what I said about Trump and him running for president. I didn't think he was really serious in the beginning. I thought he was just doing it to goof on Hillary, and I think
that was one of the theories, is that he was just doing it as a publicity stunt, but they got so much fucking support on it, he's like, fuck it, I got to.
Yeah, and lo and behold, he actually.
And not only that, that was a conspiracy theory that was being pushed by the left. Hillary Clinton specifically said, "Come on, he's not really wanting to win. This is all just a big publicity stunt. Ha ha, very funny. But he's not actually planning on running. He's not planning on winning. So you shouldn't vote for him." I distinctly remember that in 2015, 2016, and it was so ludicrous that I fucking believed it. I still believe it. I honestly still believe that Trump had no intentions of actually being fucking president. He just accidentally became president.
What's funny to me too, and you can you can really appreciate this, but I saw like a blog post the other day on Medium, which is basically it's the new Tumblr for left-wing journalists. And given the fact that you're journalists on the left, that's an oxymoron. But the
journalist is an oxymoron.
The thing that cracks me up is they were somehow saying that, like, that Gamergate and Medicare and Ralph and all of these internet people are the reason for Trump's rise. And it's like I hadn't, except for Baked Alaska, I had no idea who any of these people really were until after the election.
I was gonna say, outside of Medicare, I don't recognize any of that word salad you just put up, so I don't know if I'm qualified to comment on that. None of that shit sounds relevant other than Medicare.
Yeah, and and Medicare's not even really a political guy, so...
No, he never wanted to be fucking famous, so far as I've gathered from listening to him either. It just kind of fucking happened.
Yeah, that's and that's why, I wouldn't say that's why it's successful, but that it certainly adds to why he's likable, I guess, is because he's like one of the few people on the internet that doesn't really care about fame or whatever.
That's what I like about Jim. That's what a lot of people in my kind of age demographic like about Jim, is that he he's that old school internet type of guy. Like he still operates based on the old school dial up internet, IRC chats and fucking GeoCities and shit like that. And in the modern age of social media and stuff, that version of the internet of the Wild West is fucking dead. And that's why a lot of people gravitate towards Jim and his specific style. It's for the same reason people watch like Downton Abbey and be like, oh, we could go back to that time. That would be great. You know, it's because he reminds people, especially in my age demographic that went through that era of the internet, of a better time. And it, other than like porn and just being able to watch high definition video, like that's great. Don't want to give that up. If we could go back and do dial up over, but with fucking high definition porn and video, that would be the ultimate fucking internet. Just go back to fucking 1990s, mid 90s, late 90s, somewhere in there with HD 4K video. Fucking, we're set.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's all I really had on that.
Oh, I was gonna say I kind of agree with you on that. The other thing that I like is I like the idea of like message boards and forums over social networking, which is kind of when I came into the internet when message boards were still a thing. And I mean,
yeah, I miss when everything was segregated. Hey, I'm not. Let me back that up real fucking quick. When I say segregated, I mean the internet, not the races. I'm not going back to 1950s. When I say segregated, I mean we used to have forums and chat rooms that were about specific things. Like if you were like me and you were a big fan of, I don't know, fucking Diablo 2. Okay, let's go back to 2000, 2001. Big fan of Diablo 2. Where the fuck do you find other people that are big fans of Diablo 2? Well, you go to a fucking Diablo 2 forum. As a matter of fact, the Battle.net Blizzard forums used to be a fucking great place. Great place. People would go there. They would talk about the game. They'd talk about the builds. They would show off fucking low resolution screen captures of this awesome fucking drop that they fucking got. They would, organize parties and shit like that. It was fucking great. And then when social media, specifically in the late era of MySpace moving into Facebook, it all fucking centralized. And when it all centralized, you had to be kind of on just one social media platform that it was everything all at once.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I'm like you. I like the forums and the threads and where everything is segregated and, what's the fucking word? Compartmentalized. Yeah. I like a segregated and compartmentalized because it's more organized and it's easier to fucking navigate.
Well, the other thing that I remember that was really nice is like there were like in the early days of the Tea Party, so
around 2008.
Yeah, around 2008, there were forums, and I mean, yeah, some of them could be echo chamber a bit, but I mean, there were like political web forums that were, independently ran, and people could communicate on there, and they weren't, people were on there 24/7 just because, mobile access wasn't as, relevant as it is now. But, as a result, like people would be, I wouldn't want to say that. I mean, obviously, you would have your shit posts on, the political internet as well, but there were people who would actually put some. If you were going to shit post, people had to put like actual thought into it, as opposed to just tweeting endlessly and whatnot. And the other nice thing is, a lot of those forums, the people who ran them were also people who were actually participating in the forum discussions themselves, regardless of the topic. And that's something I miss with social media, because like now, if I post something, in any sort of political group on Facebook, I'm pretty much fucked because I get some nameless bot that has removed my content for false information. And it's like I'm not
Yeah.
even spreading anything false. I'm just asking a question or something like that. So yeah, I
Yeah,
miss
because
that side
usually
of it.
the way your moderation team got formed is it was the most active and contributing members of the fucking community itself. And then they became moderators because they knew what the fuck the subject of the fucking forum was. They knew the source material. They knew the community pretty well. The community knew them.
Yeah.
And you could really kind of police it and everything because I I find, especially with the right leaning political shit that me and you tend to run in with this sector, they want to go full free speech where there's like, don't censor anything. We want to say the N word and say stuff about the Jews and the Polacks and da 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 da. And I agree. Okay, I agree that free speech means that you should absolutely not be prohibited from saying that. Okay, I agree with that. But on that note, I also agree that there is immense value to having places that are more curated
Yeah.
to specific. Again, that's why I want segregated and compartmentalized internet. Because if you don't want to hear about the N word or the Jews or whatever, just don't go in that fucking forum. Don't go in that thread. It's not for you. And
Yeah.
that's another problem, kind of culturally and politically and ideologically, that we're having, is that all these people think that they can just go anywhere and fucking they're the center of fucking attention. I'm sorry, but if you are someone who's never picked up a video game and you go into a fucking video game thread and they all call you a fucking noob and tell you to get the fuck out, you're not being oppressed. You're stepping in somebody else's fucking world. You
Yeah.
have no place there.
Yeah, well, and you either learn to get with the program, or you get out,
Yeah.
and you know
And when specifically with like politics, you could have echo chambers. Echo chambers aren't necessarily bad in small scale form like what I'm talking about. But you would also be able to have places that are kind of more wild westy. You would have a politically offensive type area. And you're like, hey, all sides are welcome here. All speech is unfettered to stay on topic of fucking politics. And then you know what? You can call people fucking names and shit. Just don't fucking make legal threats or anything like that. Don't no illegal speech, outright illegal speech. You can't yell fire in a fucking crowded theater type of shit.
yeah,
But other than that, you're coming in here with the express knowledge that you're probably going to get made fun of, that you're probably going to hear provocative shit that either provokes anger or depression, or it's because that's what you're supposed to be doing in exchanging ideas. You're supposed to be provoking emotion. You're supposed to be provoking thought. You're supposed to be provoking educate. Shit that makes you go, and that's the joy of it. And if we had a decentralized, compartmentalized, segregated type internet like we had in the fucking 90s and early aughts, we could have that. Everybody could have their cake and everybody could eat their cake. But no, we
yeah,
got to have you have to be on this social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Reddit, 4chan, and each one of those has their own independent things, but everything is kind of centralized to a very, very narrow street of platforms.
yeah. Well, and then a lot of these alternative platforms like Truth Social or Gab or Parler, or whatever the flavor of the month is, because they're always coming out. They're all clones of Twitter, or they're all clones of Facebook. They're all trying to kind of copy each other, and it's like, okay, that's not doing anything except for that's not really fixing Twitter. That's just creating a different version of something.
I
So
I can actually point this out too, because I was on Kiwi Farms before I was even a known entity, which I still consider myself an unknown entity because I'm fucking a literal who. But before I started doing the leaks and the journalism shit, I was on Kiwi Farms, and I wasn't there for the law cows. I wasn't there for Chris Chan. The reason I washed up on Kiwi Farms and ended up making an account and hanging around and shit was because it was the only place on the internet outside of 4chan. And again, I like forums over image boards. I just like that format better. But my favorite parts of Kiwi Farms had nothing to do with the law cows or the trolling or anything like that. I was in the legal discussion threads or the current events thread or the fucking video game threads and shit like that. And it was because it was the only place I could go anymore where I didn't have to worry about some fucking green-haired, armpit hair having fucking man in a dress fucking saying that I couldn't say exactly what I wanted to fucking say.
Yeah.
Like, I got pushed in there, and that's, people say, oh, white supremacist this, white supremacist that. You know how many people I've met that have ended up in this sector where they have to go to these areas of the internet with all these wignats and crazy people that aren't wignats or crazy people themselves simply because that's the only place they're fucking welcome. And I've heard many fucking people there's like, I'm not a wignat, I'm not overly political, but I can't go on Facebook because my little pages on Facebook were co-opted by these people, and we can't share memes, we get banned, we get timed out, they try to fucking lynch us at our fucking jobs, they try to cancel us, so I can't go there. But if I come here, I don't have people trying to fucking do that to me.
Well, and it's also a case, and yes, I am drinking a beer. It's also a case of, I'm not sure all the people who say edgy shit necessarily are wignats or extremists themselves. Granted, a bunch of them certainly are, but some of them like to say edgy shit just because they want to test the boundaries now of what they can say.
Oh, I call it internet edginess, and it's part of the early internet culture. Kind of the world at large kind of got a taste of it with Xbox Live, with all the fucking kids. I fucked your mother, blah blah blah, teabag and shit like that. But
back when that was fun.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of people do it just to be fucking edgy, and I have to kind of break this down, otherwise it's going to sound, because there's terminology conflicts of what I'm about to say. Typically, the people that hang out in the dark net. Now, the dark net, I have to clarify, I'm not talking about like the literal fucking dark net, which is not as interesting or as bad as people fucking think it is in itself. I'm not talking about like the technical dark net, like the unlisted internet that you have to do Tor browser and shit.
Yeah.
When I say the dark net, I'm talking about not the main internet, like the subculture internet, like for the niche topics and the niche forums and shit like that. There's a culture of being fucking edgy, and Josh on Kiwi Farms, it's in the fucking footer of the fucking website, live free or die. And that's kind of the mentality that is in what I call the dark net. And when I refer to the dark net, I'm specifically talking about places like Kiwi Farms. I'm talking about, hole in the wall fucking areas of the internet where you can just be fucking free. You're nobody. You are whatever avatar / screen name web handle that you fucking type into your fucking computer. You're fucking nobody. Everybody here is a nobody, but you don't have to worry about Karen's fucking banning you for saying something spicy. And it's kind of like that's the internet culture.
Yeah, and the fact that and then on the flip side, you have all the Karens who used to run Twitter who are now angry that they can't that they're not in control of Twitter anymore. So, they essentially think that Twitter is going to become, like some sort of right-wing echo chamber, and it's hilarious because
Which is funny to me because I could be wrong on this, but I don't think all the people that are trying to fucking control this shit and doing the PC shit, I don't think they're actually fucking political to begin with. I don't think they care. They just want power by any means, whether politically, culturally, socially. They just want fucking power. They're power hungry. They don't actually care where or how they get the fucking power. It's just when their power is taken away from them, they have fucking petulant child tantrums. And the reason I say that is because you see this everywhere, not just fucking Twitter. It's with YouTube and Facebook. Go to fucking Walmart and find a fucking CSM in Walmart, and eventually you will find one that is just a fucking power hungry cunt. They exist everywhere. They go wherever they can weasel their way into a little bit of fucking power. It doesn't matter if they're just a manager of a fucking McDonald's or head of the moderation team at Twitter. It's the same personality type. They're narcissistic. They just want power.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, I mean, a lot of them go into human resources, too. And that, I mean, that's why the, the workforce is, at least, corporately is such shit now, because these Karens who, who, like, Echo and I have actually talked about this, at large. The one thing that, the one thing that is still a problem even after Gamergate is HR people ruining video games pretty much. And
yeah, the corporate people, the empty people in suits.
Yeah. And somehow now that translates to vote blue in November, because even though our product isn't political, we're going to make it political. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I miss the Attitude Era of the 90s with grunge and, the Attitude Era of wrestling and stuff like that. And the reason I miss it is because it wasn't the politics of it. It wasn't the culture of it. It was just a fuck you mentality. We're going to do what we do for no other reason than the fact that we fucking enjoy it. It's what we want to do. And that was a great era of the American fucking dream, man. Like, you said what you wanted. You fucking drunk beers on fucking TV. Men were men, women were women. But we weren't going to hold ourselves to, like, the religious right standards. We had the fucking satanic panics and shit like that. And we said, fuck you, we're going to listen to our rock and roll and play D&D. And, we weren't to the left or anything, because we weren't going to go fucking out and picket and protest and stuff like that. Though that later became a thing, like in the mid-aughts, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
As we went into, like, the full bore of the fucking Bush administration, and then we went into the fucking housing bubble crisis, Occupy Wall Street and shit. And really, that's where all of this fucking started. And as much as this is one of the things that believe it or not, Sam, I'm sometimes wrong on my political takes and predictions.
No.
Not often. But there was one that I was very fucking wrong on, and I still scratch my head on it. And that was when I laughed at all of the fucking people that said, if we legalize gay marriage, then the next thing you know, they'll be doing bestiality and going after children.
Yeah.
Call me fucking crazy, but in 2002, when that was the fucking key talking point, my dumb ass did not ever think that was in the realm of possibility.
Well, listen, I will actually kind of agree with you there, because when gay marriage did get legalized, there were those on the far right that is like, now it's going to be trans people and they're going to come after our kids. And I was kind of like, this is just an overreaction. This is just, this is just the far right being really
because it used to be the far right that we had to go against. The far right used to be the people censoring everybody. The far right used to be the ones canceling everybody. Like,
Yeah.
how the fuck were we supposed to predict that slippery slope was going to be the one that fucking took?
Well. The other thing is, like, I told someone the other day, I said, if you look at the religious right and the religious right of the 1980s and 1990s, and you look at the current, SJW left of today, minus a few cosmetic details, you really can't tell the difference between either of them, because
Yeah.
they seem to oppose the same things, but for different
reasons. It's kind of like like I'm an atheist. I don't know if I've ever fucking divulged that little fucking bit, but I don't run with the fucking atheists because I don't like the fucking atheists. But when I was an atheist, one of the fucking counter arguments I always hated was that atheism was just another religion. Again, I'm not always right. So I laughed at those people. Yeah. And then I watched in 2010 to around 2014 as atheism, lo and behold, became a fucking religion. And it became exactly what I said it never could fucking be, because that was antithetical to what it was. And it fucking became that. Again, how the fuck are you supposed to predict that?
Yeah. Well, no, it was one of the things that really kind of fascinated me about Trump is, one of the things that was hilarious is how he's able to, basically, I don't want to say grift, but or even convince, kind of the religious right people to go out to, side with him because of Mike Pence, when clearly, like, Trump's not really that religious of a guy, I don't think. And, this is the guy who was banging Playboy models in the 90s and, having tabloid articles written about him. And yet, people on.
Right. If he was religious, it would have been more of a Ted Haggard and doing gay prostitutes.
Well, yeah. Well, there you go. And yet, you had people, unironically, I thought this was a shit post at first until I actually, talked to these people, and I'm like, wow, these people are nuts, but they're also serious. There were people who were saying that Trump was, anointed by God to be president.
Well, these are also the same people that said Obama was the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm a Christian, but I don't bring it up that much because really it's
because you're a good Christian.
Yeah, I don't feel like
it's supposed to, here's the thing, and since we're on the subject of religion, I'll fucking bury this hatchet now. Here's the thing about Christians in particular. Christians are supposed to have a personal relationship with God, and it's supposed to be antithetical to a status position. In layman's terms, that means that you're supposed to have your personal relationship with God, but you're not supposed to wield it like a sword or use it as a point of authority. That's literally in the Bible. I fucking read it. Jesus literally threw those motherfuckers out of the temple.
Yeah,
because even as an atheist, my favorite fucking part of the Bible is where he throws them out of the fucking temple. That's my second favorite. My first favorite is the Sermon on the fucking Mount, because he's just like, wash the feet of the poor. The meek will inherit the world. Don't be a dickhead. And that's the one part of the Bible that the bad Christians do not fucking follow.
People are always like, because I always like to say I'm a Christian who hates other Christians, and people always scratch their head and they're like, why? That makes no sense. And for the exact reason that you just mentioned, a lot of them have that double standard.
They have that superiority complex. That's not what it's about.
Yeah. And and sadly, sadly, atheists are not all of them, but you know, some of
Most
them
of them.
now are getting that that way. And I, you know, and in particular, I kind of blame the Amazing Atheist for that because what
See,
maybe
I like the Amazing Atheist, but once he got access to that money to where he could just fucking freebase drugs all the time, he became retarded. But TJ from like 2008 to 2012 was fucking awesome. And then he just completely fucking melted down with the rest of the atheist community. The single issue, there were multiple reasons, but the single biggest issue that I left the atheist movement was because at first it was all, ha ha, we don't believe in God, whatever, we'll make we didn't call them memes at the time, but you know, we'll meme on the Christians and the religious people and the Mormons, because who doesn't like kicking the Mormons? You know, ha ha, he he. My big point of separation is when they said, no, we're going to get rid of all religion, where it's not just enough for us to not believe in the religion. We're going to make it to where there is no religion. I'm like, what? No, that's not what we're going to fucking do. We're in America. That's fucking constitutionally protected, motherfucker. You can't just tell people they can't be religious. You're like, no, they're idiots. They're idiots. They can't be allowed to have their religion because the religion is wrong and it's fake. And I'm like, so the fuck what?
my big problem, and it wasn't even as a Christian, but it was more like the problem I had with the left is that they would criticize all the, you know, all of the radical elements of the right, but when it came to it, but when I would say, okay, now do radical Islam, they would be like, oh no, Islam is a religion of peace, right? But Catholics are all, pedophiles that want to diddle children. And it's like, well, if you want to criticize one religion for their shortcomings, you should really criticize them all. And that's something that really hasn't happened,
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Catholics did have the sexual molestation bullshit, and it was quite large. Oh, it was quite a large fucking portion.
Yeah,
But let's be real here. It's not just the Catholics. I'm sure there's plenty of Christian molestation stories that either have been found out or just happened and were covered up. There's plenty of Mormons believe in bigamy and all this shit. You mean to tell me that the fucking Mormons haven't died? I think the Duggars aren't the They're not Mormons. I think they're quiverful Christians, I believe, or I don't fucking know what the Duggars are, but they're having that thing now where it's coming out that they were molesting their daughters and shit, or the brother was getting him some sister pussy or some shit, so it's not just the Catholics, and it's not just religion. Religion isn't a prerequisite to pedophilia, obviously, because most of the pedophiles of today's age and time aren't religious. That's kind of the thing. They're godless fucking demi-humans.
Yeah, I mean that's very true. But I mean, that's another thing that has kind of been watered down, though. Is the whole. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, as you and I have seen, kind of in our sector of the internet, the term pedophile gets labeled broadly across the board. It's almost like the new.
It's the scarlet letter of our sector of the internet. If you don't like somebody, accuse them of being a pedophile.
Yeah, and to me that's just about as calling someone a Nazi, because it's a negative that is almost
it's on two fronts. First off, on two fronts, it's a very bad thing. On the one hand, that is a very serious claim to make about somebody, and it should only be made with an abundance of proof and evidence to back it up, because you will fuck somebody's life up. And, It's kind of like why I'm against the death penalty, because if we kill everybody that's on death row, and there's at least one person that's completely innocent and that just got railroaded by the fucking system, then we've committed murder. We've murdered an innocent fucking person, and you can't unmurder them. It's not as severe as that, because labeling them as a pedophile, it will end their life in different ways, but you basically fuck somebody's life up beyond repair just with the label. And even if they're vindicated later and proven innocent, that scarlet letter is still going to fucking remain on them, because they're like Michael Jackson. Motherfucker never molested a kid. All of the evidence has proven that. All of the court cases have basically fucking proven that. But still to this day, everybody's like, oh, Michael Jackson, he's a kiddie fiddler. There's no way that man fucking molested kids. For one, the only ones that ever accused him were proven to be money-hungry fucking pieces of shit. For two, if he had molested kids with all of the fucking microscopes and magnifying glasses on him, we would have found it. Kind of like with Trump. Oh, Trump's a Russian agent. With all of the fucking tribunals and committees and investigations, and not one of them found one piece of corroborating evidence that wasn't a fucking opposition research thing ran by the fucking Clinton Foundation. Trump is the most vindicated fucking politician to ever fucking exist. He had the entire establishment go after him with a fine-tooth comb and come back with nothing.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, one of the most prolifically falsely accused pedophiles in the fucking world, had the entire establishment of fucking Hollywood going after him with a fine-tooth comb, and they found nothing. Zip, zilch, nada. So on the one hand, you've got that. You're throwing an accusation at somebody that can perpetually fuck their life to an irreparable amount. On the other hand, kind of like you were bringing up, it's like calling somebody a Nazi. If you throw that word around and you throw that accusation everywhere, it eventually, culturally, we become numb to it. It becomes meaningless. You know, back in 2016, calling people a Nazi was kind of a fucking scarlet letter. Being called a Nazi now, it's like, okay, boomer. Like, it means fucking nothing.
Yeah, and that one, that is, you know, and that is, I guess Nazi is kind of, that's one thing, because, you know, true actual Nazis don't really exist anymore. But you know, but pedophilia and whatnot, that's something that should not be trivialized. And
I mean, on the flip side, I think that's what the left wants, is they saw how using the word Nazi over and over again took the teeth out of it and made it meaningless. And I kind of feel like they're kind of doing that with pedophile as well, because their end goal is minor attracted person. They want to treat pedophilia just like transgenderism and all of this. So we got to be accepting of them. Well, no, the fuck we don't.
Well, you know, that almost kind of seems to be the end goal for kind of the trans community. The more and more I watch them, you know, it seems to be more about like, you know, about like they want kids at drag shows and whatnot, and it's like,
as far as like the visual, like prominent trans community, I agree. But here's the thing, and I know this is a fucking logical fallacy of, I know I know a black guy, or I'm friends with a black guy, so I can't be racist. But
yeah,
fallacy it might be. I've known 2 trans people in real life, not online, like know them person to person. For the record, they're female to male, so I don't know if that makes any fucking difference or not, other than the fact that I find that typically female to male trans people are usually just dykey women, dykey lesbians. So I guess that could be a factor. Neither one of them are part of the alphabet mafia. Neither one of them are in line with any of the fucking, they would be considered TERFs by the trans movement online. I've known many, many gay people. Most of them have been, well, I want to say most of them have been male gay people, but actually I've got a pretty even split throughout my life of fucking lesbians and gay people and bi whatever. None of them are part of the alphabet fucking mafia. As a matter of fact, one of my best friends is gay. And I asked him one year, I was like, so you going to Pride? And his fucking response, I shit you not, was, fuck no, I don't want to get AIDS.
No, well, it's funny they mention that because my barber is actually a gay guy who's also a Trump supporter, and so this past June,
that explains why you always look so gay.
Had
to be said.
That is that might be, that's getting clipped. That might be one of the funniest things you've said.
Breaking news: Sam Whitfield gets manscaped.
Well, once they offer a sponsorship for the show, then maybe. but let's be honest. We're nowhere near that many. At this point, Vickers and I are just we're part of the Vickers Mafia too. I'm not sure if you realize that.
I think I saw a meme online somewhere that said that.
But yeah.
Sad part is I probably make fun of Vickers harder and more efficiently than any of these motherfuckers. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, can any of them say anything funny other than, oh, he's fat? It's like, yeah, clearly he is.
In my experience of the anti-Vickers people, they always have the same arguments. Your daughter's a whore. Your daughter's a whore. Your daughter's a whore. Oh, wow. How original. What template are you using?
The one I've always gotten back when I interviewed Vickers, I had a few of them being like, ask him if he's watched the sex tape, and I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna ask him that, but like, that's oddly specific that you want me to ask him that question.
Is that really the question that they're curious about? Because I can answer that.
Well, yeah, if he's watching,
if that's the burning question that people have for Vickers that you weren't man enough to fucking ask him, I can answer that because I was around during that time. The answer is no. Fucking what are you, fucking stupid? No, of course the man didn't watch the fucking sex tape. Has the man seen screen caps of it? Yes, because during the time when they were fucking with his company website and everything, people were emailing it to him and sending him messages of it with fucking memes made out of it. But you know what? That's why he had other people other than him that were going through to fucking get all the relevant fucking info, is because it's not weird for somebody else to fucking go through the forums with all the pictures of his daughter naked and fucking find the relevant information. Fucking think with your, well, you don't have a brain. But if that's the burning question people were dying to fucking know from that interview, no, the man hasn't fucking watched it.
Well, no, and he told me that same thing, that he didn't watch, but there seems to be some weird like fan fiction about how he watched it and then he he enjoyed it or something like
Sounds
that.
like some type of weird fucking voyeurism or something.
Yeah,
I can only get off to the sex tape if Vickers had to watch it too.
Yeah, and I'm like go on. I'm like this isn't literotica, whatever that form is. But but if it is, that's your sick fantasy. That's not actually what happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to gay people. Speaking of faggots on the internet.
Sam's like, fucking cut my hair, suck my dick, call me a faggot.
One of the things that my gay barber said is that's absolutely hilarious is I asked him if he was going pride and he's like, fuck no, I'm sick of corporate America using my sexuality as basically a cash cow. So I'm not supporting it at all. So
nothing better after sucking a nice big hard cock than drinking a Pepsi. Which, that's truth in marketing, because the only person that would drink a fucking Pepsi willingly is also going to willingly put a dick in their mouth.
Truth. Well, I just find it really weird, like when you launch Call of Duty now in June, like there are all these, it's like,
are you fucking serious?
Yeah. When I launched COD, they were like, "Hey, we have new skins that are like rainbow. You can get like a rainbow colored AK-47
Oh my god, that seems like it'd be more fitting in Halo. The game that was fucking that made great advancement into teabag physics. You remember, I think it was Halo 3, where one of the advertisements was them showing off the teabagging physics, where when you fucking teabag somebody, their head would actually come up off the ground when you raised up.
Yeah. Well, what was funny is, so this is just a case of the internet always winning. So there were people who would get the the rainbow colored weaponry or whatever it is, and unironically then start calling each other faggot, while killing each other, with the whole rainbow
dude
theme.
From the sounds of it, I need to start playing Call of Duty in June and then starting a fucking clan on there calling the Alphabet Mafia and run around gunning people down. Those shoes don't match those pants.
Oh god. That would be well, they actually had to, I guess the admins had to like shut down a few of the voice chat servers because people kept dropping the F slur during the month.
Remember, comrades, know he him.
That's still not as funny though as when Battlefield unironically put black Nazis in multiplayer, because there were a ton of black Nazis in Germany, I guess, but whatever. Diversity,
that reminds me of the Medal of Honor remake, where people got pissed off because the enemy faction was the fucking Taliban. I'm like, it's a video game based off of historical events altered. Like, what the fuck is your fucking... What? We played as Nazis for fucking ever in Call of Duty. And in the original Medal of Honor. I remember Medal of Honor PlayStation 1 being crowded around a large projection screen TV and gunning people down as a Nazi with a fucking STG-44. It didn't make me a Nazi.
Oh my god, how horrible.
That didn't make me a Nazi. It was more reading Mein Kampf that did that. That's a joke. It's a joke.
Well,
my struggle was very real.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, no, it was you going to art school that made you hate the Jews. So.
More me flunking out of art school, really. That reminds me, I have this book that I really like called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Do you know him? Of course you don't. But if you've ever heard of The Legend of Bagard Vance, he's the guy that wrote that. If you've ever read contemporary history books on Greece and the history of Greece, you may have ran across Pressfield as well. But in that, he's talking about getting over writer's block and actually how to be a writer. And one of the things that he points out, he's like, call it presumptuous, but I'll say it anyway. It was easier for Hitler to create the Nazi war machine than it was for him to stare at a blank canvas. And I think that's just a fucking profound statement, because Hitler wanted to be a painter, but it was easier for him to try to exterminate an entire race than it was for him to actually put paint on a canvas.
That is wow, yeah, that reminds me of the
fucking profound.
That reminds me of the I don't remember if it was Norm Macdonald who did it, although he was a
9/11.
Although it was a variation of a Norm joke. I think it was like boy, I would sure hate to have been the guy who flunked Hitler out of art school. Imagine if you had just passed him, how you could have averted a genocide of people. So, and it's like,
it reminds me of I forget, there was some comedian that did it. I think it was Ricky Gervais, and he was talking about the Bill Clinton blowjob scandal. And he's like, that's the fucking president of the United States. If you get in an elevator and he seems a little stressed out, you suck his dick. It's the leader of the free world. Of course you suck his dick.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember where I was from. It might have been Opie and Anthony that did that as a skit. Because I also remember after during the Bush years, I think it was, they set up a voicemail box, and when you called it, it would ring, or it would ring, and it would do an automated answering service for the Oval Office. Like, the president is unavailable at this time. Press 1 if you would like to speak to an alternative. And then you hear a ketone, and it rings for a little bit, and then it's just Bill Clinton that comes on. I knew you'd want me back.
That is perfect. Yeah, well, I mean, now with everything going on in the world, the Lewinsky Gate seems tame,
quite quaint.
Yeah, my half joke is I'm like, seeing Hillary now, like, I don't blame Bill for having Monica and on the side. I wouldn't want to be in the same room. I'd bang the intern too if I were married to Hillary.
I'd bang the table with my toe, honestly.
Yeah, that just seems like a very nasty woman.
I mean, you know how Chelsea Clinton was conceived, right? Hillary Clinton shoved an evening gown into her fucking hooch.
Well, that's not only funny, that might actually be true because she, if you've ever seen photos of her, of Chelsea and Bill, they look nothing. They look almost.
She definitely takes after her mother, and that is to say, she is a vacuous cunt.
Oh yeah. Well, that's true. I guess they have a reality show now that no one watches.
I didn't even know that fucking existed. What is it? Just Hillary Clinton saying, "Drone strike them, drone strike them." It's my turn, damn it! Get out of the way, Grandpa. It's my turn.
No, even worse than that. It's a reality show where she and Chelsea interview women because that's empowering. But the catchphrase, but the catch is it's other celebrity women. So they're not going after. They're not like appealing to school teachers or nurses or something. No, they're talking to Beyonce and to J-Lo and other women that we can completely relate with, right?
Oh yeah. Because when I want to know how to feed a family of four, I want to know how Beyonce does it. Well, first I grab this silver platter and there's a bell on it and I ring that. And then Jorge, my fucking Puerto Rican, will come in and he will ask us what we want and go and fucking strangle the chicken out in the yard and fucking roast it for us.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Hillary Clinton's like, really? I fed my family by taking it out of the fucking mouths of fucking earthquake survivors and fucking, where was that?
Haiti.
God damn it, I'm losing. Yeah, Haiti. I feed my family by taking the food directly out of a Haitian's mouth. I lost the thread of my joke along the way.
How do you deal with disapproving stuff? Well, I just threaten the lives of all the women he's slept with and threaten to kill their family.
Yeah. I just flatten all four of the tires on their fucking SUV and tell them that their children are next. Which, by the way, if you are young enough that you weren't around during the Clinton regime, or if you just want a really good book that kind of summarizes the horrible Clinton regime, Christopher Hitchens has a great book called No One Left to Lie To. It's fucking phenomenal.
I fucking love Christopher Hitchens. Or should say loved. I wish that man were still alive because...
Me too. I literally wept. I was drunk the night he died, and I fucking wept. I was like, God damn it. Because I think he died shortly thereafter George Carlin, if I remember correctly. George Carlin died in like 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
And then Christopher Hitchens died in like 2010, 2011. It's somewhere in that time frame, but I was fucking dog ass drunk. And then I think somebody sent me a Facebook message like, yeah, Christopher Hitchens is dead. I'm like, what? And I Googled it because, nobody online can tell you a lie, right? So I Googled it and yeah, the news reports confirmed he fucking died. I'm like, oh my God. The world is much fucking colder and unintelligent now.
That's how I feel about Andrew Breitbart too. And yes, kids, there actually was a guy named Andrew Breitbart. That was another, death. That was like the first. I don't want to say celebrity death because he wasn't like a celebrity in the way, most people think of it. But he was a public figure. That was like the first public death that really, hit me hard. Because
I think Carlin would be it for me. It's like most of my ideological views came from comedians. So like Bill Hicks, fucking George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison. Like comedy was where I got most of my fucking political leanings, and it shows probably. But
same here, actually. It's a powerful. It still is a powerful medium when it's allowed to exist.
Now forget who has the quote. I want to say that it's Mel Brooks, but it might not be. It might have been a Carlin. It might have been someone else. But someone had this amazing quote, and if you apply it to modern day politics, it's really telling. If you want to know who is actually in charge of a system, find out who you cannot mock. If you can't make fun of them, they're the ones actually in fucking charge.
I believe that's Carlin, which means
it sounds like a Carlinism.
Which means that, oh my God, fucking trannies and
Yep.
people are in charge.
Well, Mapp, Clinton, it's pretty much a direct correlation.
So which which speaking of the whole purpose of the title for the show is election predictions for for this upcoming primary. But I've got to be honest, I've been so shitty with election predictions the last couple times that I'm just kind of like, I don't really know. I don't really know if I can predict anything because I'm 0 for 2 at this point. So.
Well, especially after the 2020 elections, there's a difference between predicting and then predicting what's actually going to happen, because the 2020 election should have been Trump by a landslide, and I would wager that it was Trump by a landslide.
Yeah.
Sorry, YouTube, fuck off. But there's no.
We're on Odyssey too, so
okay. Yeah, there's no fucking way you can tell me that 2020 was just all fucking above board. That being said, my predictions for the midterms, what should happen is a complete and utter fucking annihilation of the Democratic Party. I'm predicting 55 seats in the Senate and like 250 plus seats in Congress by the time it's all said and done. I'm predicting a complete red fucking wedding. Like, Republican across the board. They're going to sweep the Senate. They're going to sweep the House. They're going to sweep the state legislatures, the governorships. I think that America is finally so sick and fucking tired that they just want to fucking what was his name? Michael Moore, the quote he made about Trump, where the factory workers and shit are just so fed up that Trump is a hand grenade that they're going to throw into the system to blow it up. And I think we've reached another point where America is going to vote with a hand grenade. They're just about, fuck it. You know what? I don't like Trump, or I don't like DeSantis. I don't like the Republicans, but you know who else doesn't like those? The people that are fucking me over and making me pay $10 a gallon for gas. So, predictably, I would say that we're in for an absolute fucking massacre of the left. Realistically, I think the Democrats are scared enough now, and they have enough eyes on them, and they have to know at this point that if they try 2020 again, with all of the eyes on it and everything like that, and with them losing control of Twitter right before the fucking election, which has got to be fucking devastating for them. They have to know that if they fuck around like that again on midterms, we're just going to civil war. Like, if they do the big F word on this midterm election, with all the eyes on it, it's going to be caught. It's going to be pointed out. They can't completely control Twitter now. So people are going to be able to fucking talk about it. People are going to be able to tweet about it. It's going to be right out in the fucking open. They will be found out. So either they're going to fucking pull their hand back to a safe level and the Republicans are going to sweep, or the Republicans are going to sweep and they're going to try to cheat them out of it, and we're going to civil war.
Well, I will say this. I think I agree with you that a red wave should happen. I think realistically, what's going to happen? I think it's largely going to depend state by state and what the people who run the ballot boxes actually do. I know that, like, for instance, in Miami, here where I am in Florida, although to be fair, it's fucking Miami, so it doesn't really surprise me. But they've already caught multiple people trying to sabotage ballot boxes in, like, Miami.
Yeah, and
County.
I can't remember specifically. Somebody, not in our sphere of the internet, somebody I know in real life sent me a link. Wasn't there an election supervisor or whatever in Minnesota that got removed from the board because they were trying to prove that their mail-in ballot system could be used for fraud, so they sent a bunch of absentee military ballots for people that didn't exist to someone's house? I want to
Yeah,
say I saw that in the fucking news, and
yeah.
I lightly read up on it, and I'm just like, that's pretty fucking ballsy. That's a
I
ballsy way to prove your point, but it definitely proved the point.
I also saw something that like the in the the in California they had
A
an instance.
homosexual man was beaten with a hammer.
Well, no, well, no, well, no, Jesse Smollett, that actually did not happen. But no, in California, they were sending ballots to people who had moved out of state to vote in the election.
Yeah, that would be a fucking problem,
So it was like people that
especially if they're mailing them to people that have moved from California to Arizona. Because right now Arizona is lit the fuck up for the big F word.
yeah.
Because after 2020, there's a lot of eyes on those states that got fucked up. Arizona being a fucking hotbed of it.
Well, and I can tell that the state to really watch this election, at least that I'll be watching with great interest, is Pennsylvania, because that John Fetterman guy, there's no way he should win.
Oh yeah, lefty lean.
Yeah, well, and the guy who literally who can
Droopy.
run.
I'm sorry, I'm being very
Well,
fucking cruel to a stroke victim.
well, you laugh, but that stroke victim actually beat. I think he beat up a cop or something. I know it's no Ralph November, but for the sake of this joke, um, I guess he and Ethan Ralph have it in common where they both beat a police officer or assaulted an officer. But unlike Ethan Ralph, this guy was somehow smart enough to somehow weasel his way out of a charge. So that's why he's able to get on the ballot, I guess. So yeah, he may be a stroke victim, but he's still smarter than a pig.
I
So
don't know anything about these people, so I have no comment.
so but the only reason I bring that up is because as much as I like to believe that he won't get elected in Pennsylvania, I also know that Pennsylvania is very far to the left, and yeah, who knows? But then again, they did go red for Trump in 2016, so hopefully there
Oh no,
won't be that much fraud.
I've been seeing some rumblings that the polling looks pretty good for Oz in that race, unless there's fuckery afoot, which of course there's fuckery afoot. A goddamn stroke victim is fucking a competitor in that fucking race. Of course there's fuckery afoot.
Well, not to mention, I guess Oprah endorsed the stroke.
You get a left-handed glove. You get a left-handed glove.
well, and people making like a big deal out of that, because I guess people were like, ooh, that's a big deal because Oprah is the reason why Dr. Oz is famous, and it's like, okay, the only people that care about Oprah are basically housewives, and the left killed off housewives by saying that it's not allowed anymore. So
I beg to differ. The people that got free fucking cars from Oprah probably give a shit too. Give us more free shit.
yeah, those people too. But I mean, let's be honest, those people were probably plants in the audience anyway. I think they might have
Most
worked.
likely.
I think they might have worked for Oprah. nothing really surprised me. So, but yeah, no,
Oprah
I
was kind of the YouTuber before the YouTuber thing was a thing. She basically got most of her fame by she was like Mr. Beast before Mr. Beast. Her entire worth was just giving people free shit to pay attention to her.
yeah, what, and I don't even know like originally like why she's like where she got all that money from initially, but
I don't either. She was already famous when I was fucking old enough to fucking recognize Oprah, so I don't fucking know.
yeah, so it's it's weird. So yeah, I don't know what Vickers had in mind. He was saying that I guess we're going to do a show on Thursday about the post election results. So I'm like how
Yeah, I suggested the theme because I'm like, it's gonna be right after what is supposed to be a historic fucking blowout, and I want to mine some salt. So basically, my plan to go in is to just fucking take the absolute piss out of all the people that are indomitably going to be crying their eyes out. And I don't really care which side that is, honestly, but I really hope it's the left. I hope the fucking map is blood red Tuesday night.
I hope so too. And I mean it's hard to do I mean it's hard to do predictions, but one thing I am going to do is on Tuesday night, I'm not sure what time yet, but I'm going to figure out how to get a map up on here so that we can watch so that I can watch this shit on
Are you doing
in
an
real
election
time.
stream?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, fuck yeah.
so I mean, you're welcome to come on. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
I am so down for that. I gotta figure
I
out a way to fucking. I'll have to actually set up my little fucking netbook for that so I can browse the fucking salt while we're streaming.
yeah, I'm not sure when people. I'm not sure like when they actually start counting the results. That I still have to look up, but because I know it
I think it's
changes.
8 p.m. in the specific time zone, so it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard for all of those, and then 8 p.m. Central Standard for all of those, and so on and so forth.
So it would be 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. your Central, and
Yeah. If you're planning on doing that, I would say you could probably safely start around 7:30, 8 p.m. your time. It depends on what you're going for. Like, do you want to roll into it? Or are you planning on doing an extra long fucking stream? Because in that case, you'd start probably 7, and then you'd have an hour
uh,
before the polls close. But
probably like around 7:30 or something like that. So,
I've got a bottle of whiskey and everything, and I should be able to box out the time because that's going to go late. I hope you realize that election night's going to go late as fuck. Like, it's going to be 3 a.m. before they get those super secret ballots that show up.
oh yeah. Well, I know that. I hope. Well, at some point we're gonna have to kill it. I'm not sure if I can stay up till. Well, I say that, but then I stayed up till 3 last night playing Cyberpunk. So
Yeah, I haven't
who
finished
knows?
Cyberpunk. I haven't played it for months. I've got it on Xbox One though, so I don't even think I get the new updates.
It's the it's not broken anymore if you can, so that's good.
I mean, I enjoyed it when I played it, which I only first played it on Xbox One like back in June-ish, I want to say, July. So it's been a little bit. Here lately, I've been playing. Dude, fucking Xbox fucked me up. They put the Baldur's Gate games 1 and 2 and the piece of shit fucking DLC in between them in a bundle on sale for $10. So for the past 3 days, I have ate, slept, and breathed fucking Baldur's Gate. I'm
I
just roaming around with my fucking dwarven fighter thief, fucking wrecking the fucking place.
I've been yeah I've basically been I've basically been mainlining cyberpunk for the past like week or so, just because everyone's watching the show right now. Which by the way, you mentioned something on Twitter that you think that Johnny Silverhand is a communist. I don't necessarily see him as being a communist. I see him more as basically like a libertarian's wet dream, which is fuck the state and fuck. He's like the crazy libertarian that would like vote for Ron Paul or something like that.
Maybe I haven't finished the game. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge of the cyberpunk setting or characters. Like I'm more high fantasy, man. Like my knowledge for geek shit like that and pen and paper is like D&D, Forgotten Realms. So everything AD&D up to D&D 3.5, I know quite a bit about. I know quite a bit about Pathfinder and the Forgotten Realms, and
yeah, I don't know the pen and paper. Well, let me rephrase this. I didn't know much about cyberpunk as pen and paper up until I was like, hey Akaba, do you know much about cyberpunk? 4 hours.
I was
4
gonna say
hours
12
later.
hours later, he finally fucking took a breath.
That was just on the Japanese part of cyberpunk, and then I said, "Wow," and you wonder why Anus calls you a weeb. So.
Yeah, no, I like steampunk. I like cyberpunk. I like that retro futurism setting. I'm a fucking huge Fallout fan. Everything, right? But my particular preferred brand of fantasy has always been the high fantasy, specifically in D&D 3.0, 3.5, because it has. Okay, I don't know how much you know about like D&D type shit. But in D&D, one of my favorite classes to play is a druid, which is typically a tree hugger, unless you're me and you're an asshole that figures out how to break the fucking game. But part of the reason I like the druid is because they have some of the best fucking spells ever. And one of the spells that you can get in rule set 3.0 and 3.5 is called Swamp Lung. Let me describe to you how badass a fucking druid is. The spell Swamp Lung basically allows a druid to teleport bog water, mud, sticks, fish, and bugs, and whatever you would find in a swamp. You just go out to a swamp and you scoop the bottom with a bucket. They basically teleport that directly into the target's lungs so that they fucking drown on bog water and sticks and fish. And it's fucking badass. I love shit like that. I love the D&D setting. I love Forgotten Realms, where underneath every rock is some fucking planar evil. I don't know. I've always fucking loved the setting. Rather than know people's political ideologies, normally what I'll ask them is, "What's your fucking D&D alignment?" Because I'm chaotic neutral fucking forever. I will always be chaotic neutral. It's the best fucking alignment, and I will fight anybody on that. And chaotic neutral, you would probably be somewhere in the chaotic alignment because it's the kind of libertarian type class.
Yeah,
but
I've definitely been called a chaotic neutral before.
So I would say you probably is chaotic neutral or maybe chaotic good. But it's, I don't know. I fucking love shit like that. That's my nerd area of expertise. I fucking making yourself have 100% fire immunity and then walking into a fucking village of kobolds and dropping a fireball at your feet will never not be fucking awesome. That's metal as fuck. My dream vehicle is a fucking Astro van with a wizard on the fucking side of it slaying a dragon. Just fucking
that so basically you're the crazy mad scientist guy from Archer, basically, who has
Oh
that
yeah,
as
I'm
his.
fucking Krieger, man. Minus the waifu, I'm Krieger. I'm just like roll for initiative, dipshits.
Yeah.
Your authority is not recognized in Fort Kickass.
uh I am surprised that is the one show that has been on forever and it still is good,
Still good.
actually.
That's because it has H. John Benjamin in it, and H. John Benjamin's God's gift to mankind. He's the Ryan Reynolds of animation.
Yeah, hard to argue with that. It's also thank God the showrunners they give zero fucks about any of the political shit that's going on, because like 90% of the jokes that they make on the show could not be made if the show were just starting now.
One of my favorite ones is season 1, where he's with the prostitute. That's how he ends up with a kid. He's with the fucking Russian prostitute or whatever, and she hears the rap. She's like, I heard you put on a condom. I heard the rapper. He's like, no, that was my fun-sized Twix. Well, you had a candy bar? He's like, yeah, well, sometimes I like to treat myself. She's like, oh, yeah, well, sometimes I like to ovulate. I love that show.
Yeah,
Is that an ocelot?
yeah, that's great.
I also find, too, I don't know if you're like this, I'm definitely like this, where I tend to like stuff that gets a bad rap because of its fan base. But I kind of avoid that because I hate the fan base of everything that I like. Just fucking part and parcel. I always hate the fan base of the shit that I like. I hate the fan base of D&D. I hate the fan base of Rick and Morty. I hate Nickelback, but I also hate the Nickelback fan base. But I'm also kind of a Nickelback fan. Fucking weird like that.
It's funny. It's funny that you say that because speaking of chaotic neutral and shit like that, I destroyed r/Van Halen the other day because I'm a big Van Halen fan, but the Van Halen fan base is always just it's always been horrendous. And and Eddie's kid, Wolfgang, put out an album, and unsurprisingly, the kid is actually pretty good. I mean,
Oh yeah, Van Halen's son's fucking great.
Yeah, he can play. And so I posted on r/Van Halen that I actually like his album, and the comments I got on that thread ranged from, yeah, the kid is actually good, to who the fuck do you think you are? The only reason why that kid is famous is because of who his dad is, and if it weren't for his dad being who he was, this kid wouldn't even have been able to sign a record deal. And I actually said, well, yeah, the music industry is so broken now that part is true, but you're basically saying that you're basically hating on him because he isn't his dad, but yet you're also saying that he has no distinct style other than his dad. So pick
Well,
one.
nepotism in the music industry might be a thing, but without it, we wouldn't get cool shit like Power Man 5000, okay? The only reason Power Man 5000 exists is because Rob Zombie made it big. Now,
Yeah.
Power Man 5000 only existed for like 2 fucking albums, so.
Well, the other thing though too is, I mean, there is the nepotism argument, but nepotism only goes so far. Like nepotism definitely helps, but just because something is related to nepotism doesn't mean it's bad. Like yeah, Wolfgang might be Eddie's son, but that doesn't not make him a good musician still. He started to play his ass off, especially when you consider that he records all his own tracks and whatnot. And I actually like the fact that he didn't get any awards when he released his first album.
So. Hey, wait! I gotta call out this fellow with a metal guy. Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did these votes go so red? The hell is on Sammy's head?
What's on my head? Well, I stole Vickers' flat cap.
I was about to say, did you beat up a geriatric and steal his hat?
Well, like I said, I was gonna make a racist joke, but then I decided YouTube
Sam decided that his YouTube channel wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that bad of a racist joke, but these days with YouTube, you just don't know. You just don't know anymore.
I mean, I can't be racist. I own a colored TV. To be fair, that's not too racist, but the fact that it works and they don't is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And by the way, Fell in the Meadow is a chick. So, yeah.
Oh, really? Your username brings forth a lot of questions with that knowledge.
Yeah, she's a very interesting character. Oh, look, and her husband, Mr. Whiskey, who by the way is the guy who simultaneously freed and broke Apex Gamer's brain. I'm not sure. Yeah, Apex Gamer. I'm not sure what's going on with him. But he's a good guy. But I think sometimes the internet depresses them or something like that.
Apex Gamer's not depressed, man. He's just the Alex Jones of our little trio.
Well,
instead of gay frogs, it's gay Frenchmen, which is oxymoronic.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, they're straight Frenchmen.
Those are the women, but they have mustaches too. It's kind of confusing.
Sammy's a breaker and a fixer. How am I a fixer? I mean, I don't. If you mean fix in terms of triple fights, then yes.
Look, I'm just saying, if you're bringing something to Sammy to have it fixed, then you've got bigger problems than a broken fucking dildo, okay?
I did break a few speds though.
That's not hard to do, man. They got soft spots right on their forehead. You just flick them.
I managed to get the Legion of Doom or whatever the anti-Vickers group is to spiral wildly about me.
It's not hard to get them to spurg, man. They still think that I'm Matt Sand.
Wait, you mean to tell me that you aren't Max Sand?
No, I'm not that bearded guy with glasses that sits in front of a Trump flag. That's who I am. I'm the goblinoid looking motherfucker. Yeah, that's me.
Who totally doesn't have a southern accent?
Right, yeah. Yeah, I always tell people I'm from fucking Maryland or wherever the fuck that fat fuck this is from. That's where I got my southern accent, was from fucking Maine. Where I was freebasing fucking oysters or whatever the fuck they do.
I was pegged you as being from Kentucky, so
Kentucky? What do I look like? Fried chicken connoisseur to you?
Well,
I'm not saying I'm from Kentucky. I'm not saying I'm from Kentucky. I'm not saying I'm from Kentucky, but I have been into a lot of finger licking good.
Well, with a name like Genius Anus, I would expect that you have lots of diarrhea. So,
yeah, but mostly the mouth. That's my superpower. I can talk shit about anything and everything, and often do.
Well, yeah, I told Akaba that like I would protect him from the verbal diarrhea. I said even so, you might want to put on the space cover so that there's verbal diarrhea.
Yeah, Akaba better wear his rubber boots when he's around me because he's gonna be wading in some shit.
Well, now that I know that all you need to do is bring up Street Fighter.
Telling you, man, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition on the Sega Genesis. It is the be-all, end-all of Street Fighter. And no, I'm not just saying that because that's the only one I can beat the kids these days on, okay?
Wait, kids still play Street Fighter?
Yeah, but they play the Street Fighter X Tekken bullshit, and Tekken is garbage. Yeah, you heard me right, Mr. Vickers. Tekken is garbage.
Tekken has always been garbage, although it's still better than fucking Mortal Kombat. I would say that Tekken is a little bit better than Mortal Kombat.
No, I have to fucking press X and out on that. You can't literally split motherfuckers taint to mouth and fucking Tekken. You're probably just one of those people that's mad that people like me can just hit back high punch, uppercut your ass to fucking victory as Scorpion, okay? It is a perfectly valid fucking strategy.
Don't psychoanalyze me like that.
Though, as much as I would love to say that the original Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis is the best version, it can't be because Scorpion didn't have a screen jump until at least Mortal Kombat 3. Once they made it to where I could pull you to me, uppercut you away, and then screen jump over to hit you as you got up, then it was all fucking done with. That is the combo to end all fucking combos.
Yeah, no, I will say I actually like the older Mortal Kombats more than the new ones. I feel like the new ones. I'm so sick of games trying to make everything look realistic. I don't need a super realistic looking Mortal Kombat.
I really liked Mortal Kombat Deception that had the adventure mode where you played as Bo Raicho. Though, with that being said, one of my favorite characters on Mortal Kombat 10 was Bo Raicho because fucking half his moves are just getting drunk.
Well, that sounds like someone else we know of in the section.
Yeah, Mr. Vickers does tend to get drunk and then DM people. I'm aware.
I was gonna say Cog, but you know that well, no, actually that joke landed flat out of his face because Cog is a weed smoker and not a drunk.
I haven't watched him in a couple of days. Did he ever dress up as Keffals like he said he was going to?
I don't I don't know. I don't think he did. Last time I watched was when him and Dan did like a stupid chili uh
He
cook-off.
said if he got a certain amount of money donated, he was going to dress up as Keffals, which, to be completely honest, to Cog, is kind of a fucking cop-out because he's already dressed up as a middle-aged dude with a fucking drug problem.
Yeah, that's no, and I like Cog. Whiskey's right. Cog is a good boy. I just
Well,
don't.
I like Cog. I'm just going to bust his chops because I fucking do that to everybody.
I don't get the people who like unironically, I guess, hate him. The only one that I really, other than Ralph, the only one who has really made me raise my eyebrow is PPP, and that's just because I look at PPP and I'm like, good God, how is that
you,
guy
you just you
young?
you just can't figure out how a pussy fell off of some poor woman and fucking walked around like that, right? Like, how does a pussy even walk? Which, to answer that, PPP doesn't walk; he waddles. There's just like a sad, wet trombone sound, just wah wah
it,
wah wah.
it's not even that. I'm not even. It's not even that. I'm not. It's not even that. I'm more stunned by the fact that the Michelin Man had an offspring that made
Like I
me.
said, BBB wasn't conceived. His mother's vagina fell off and fucking started calling people a cunt on the internet. Started playing obnoxious fucking music that he stole from a fucking Brit bong, okay?
Well,
That's all PPB is.
apparently, 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 his mom's supposed to must be Canadian too, because yeesh, that is.
I've said it once, I've said it a million times. There's nothing worse than a fat, wet Canadian pussy.
I mean,
And if you watch any video of PPP, what is the one thing that is a constant? He is a fat, wet Canadian pussy. He's always fucking greasy as fuck. And it's because he's a pussy with an STI. The motherfucker is the physical embodiment of syphilis.
that that just ruined my setup for a pretty good joke. Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I was gonna say the only fat wet Canadian pussy I like is Stratus, but that's going back a ways now. So
Yeah, you're showing your age there. PPP
yeah.
doesn't need to buy a bra. He needs to buy like 12. Fuck, 4 of them need to hold up his chins. His chin tips fucking take up at least 4, maybe 5.
Well, if they ever need to recast Jabba the Hutt in Star Wars, now we know. Now we know who. Now we
Ooga
know
chaka, ooga chaka, retard alert, ooga chaka.
who. Yeah. The one thing I realized is if we're gonna do an election stream, I'm gonna have to compete against Warski for doing like
That's
election.
not a competition. The only other person that I know that's doing an election stream that's going to be fucking huge is Sticks. And you're not competition for Sticks because you're not, no offense, you're not in that fucking league.
No,
But also, Sticks has somehow managed to nab Sleazy P Martini for his stream. Which, if you and other people listening to this aren't aware of who Sleazy P Martini is,
who?
he is. You don't know?
No, I'm unironic. I'm partially joking, but also unironically asking you who.
Sleazy P Martini is the original band manager for fucking Guar. He's also a member of Guar. He's also a slave of Guar.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's kind of a fucking big deal in the unironic way.
Well, listen. Sticks is at least Sticks is better than than what's his face?
Worski.
No, not Worski. Hell, I was gonna say Worski is even better than Razor Fist, though.
Razor Fist is also going to be on Six's stream, and allegedly he's going to be doing a Razor Fist offensive for election night as well.
Yeah, Razor Fist is also a giant pussy because I made fun of the I made fun of the fact that he jerks off despite preaching not to, and I was blocked immediately. So
I forgot you have a weird fucking hate boner with Razor Fist. I like Razor Fist, okay? I unironically like Razor Fist.
No, I like him too. I wouldn't even say it's a hate boner. I just find it funny. I make one criticism and you block me. What's the deal?
That is a fair criticism of Razor Fist, though. Like he tends to operate in his own little echo chamber. But
yeah,
that's kind of worked to his benefit because he's not nearly as big of a law cow as he probably could be if he stepped out of that echo chamber.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I like and respect about him, though, is he fucking fires his shots, then goes on with his life. He doesn't drag down in the fucking mud on anything. He's just fucking, he says what he's gonna say, and then he fucking goes on to the next thing. And for anybody that is potentially a law cow, that's how you fucking do it. Like he is the fucking textbook example of how to operate as kind of a law cow without letting it get to you, because it's just completely not even something he worries about. He just blocks people and fucking moves on. It never registers in his fucking ethos. And that's what I want out of a creator. I don't want them fucking constantly bringing up the fucking drama, people laughing at them or shit, because I laugh at them, for one. I don't want them to fucking acknowledge me laughing at them. I just want them to fucking dance for me. Dance, monkey, dance. And that's what Razor Fist does. For better or worse, Razor Fist will all the time get up and fucking dance for me, and he doesn't give a fuck what anybody says about it because he's still going to dance.
That's very true. I just find it funny that one day I'm getting retweets and likes from him because I said something nice about his Dirty Harry retrospective, which is fantastic and people should go watch. But then the very next day I'm blocked because I made one joke about him quote unquote not jerking off. Okay. What? And all I said was something along the lines of, "Come on, we all do it. Fess up." So,
I don't know. The last bit of drama I remember him being in was when the leaks came out of him and that chick he was with being into a fucking fight or something. Allegedly, they're still together. I don't believe it. Dude, big press etched it out on them actually still being a thing.
Yeah.
I think they probably just have some type of agreement to not disparage each other and just pretend like they're still a thing, but not publicly type thing. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't care either. That's the great thing about just fucking watching people dance for you, is that you don't have to care. It's not going to make me like or dislike his videos any more or less than knowing what his personal relationship statuses are, because everybody knows his only true love will be Taryn Gill.
Yeah, and like, I really don't even, other than the fact that he is a political commentator, I care a little bit about that, but if he didn't advertise that, I wouldn't care that much. I mean, his movie retrospectives are great. That's how I became a fan.
That's how I did too. Like his movie and music and video game reviews and retrospectives and shit like that are great. His political commentary is while on point, is sometimes one beat. Like he very rarely surprises me on his takes, but it's one of those things. It's kind of like with the British accent thing. I don't really care what you're saying; it's how you say it. And he has some really good enunciations on how he fucking says shit, and I really like that.
Yeah, that's fair. So what you're saying is you're not a fan of Sargon of Akkad then, because of the British act?
Not anymore. No. Back during like the VidCon stuff, I was a real big fan of Sargon of Applebee's, but then. And this isn't me just like following Daddy Jim or anything, but after Jim took him apart, I'm just like, I could never watch Sargon again. Because again, Sargon quit dancing and he got down in the fucking mud and tried to make Gamergate a fucking thing. Joe Rogan completely fucking knocked that motherfucker flat as a goddamn 2x4 when he went on the podcast right after VidCon. But on the other hand, he did successfully sue the shit out of that fucking Aquila bitch. So, I could take Sargon or leave Sargon. I don't watch him anymore, though.
My thing with Sargon is, and this is kind of the case with a lot of YouTubers, some of whom I've actually known, but there tends to be a thing of like, they're good content creators, but then they kind of start to believe their own shit.
They have their own farts. And kind of the thing with Sargon, even before he really took the jabs at Jim and just got absolutely fucking annihilated and taken apart piece by piece, was the liberalist or whatever, when he tried to make his own political cult. And I'm just like, no, that's fucking stupid. What are you doing? That's stupid. And that's kind of why I like Razor Fist, because he stays in his lane, he drives his fucking car as fast as he can, and he doesn't give a fuck about anything. That's also why I like Nick Rekieta, especially with the recent drama going on in fucking LawTube, where everybody fucking jumped up on Racket's back, and then when the super chats quit flowing as freely, they all immediately tried to stab him in the back for ass fats. And only someone as good as Rackets could fucking come out of that unscathed like he did. And it's because he legitimately fucking knows what the fuck he's doing. Like, he actually understands what he's doing and what he needs to do. And the first and most valuable thing he ever fucking did is, as soon as everybody's like, oh yeah, LawTube, we're this new thing, we're this new community of LawTube. The best decision he ever made in his fucking life is, I'm not with them. And that's what everybody should do when a community like that starts to fucking pop up, is to be like, immediately, I'm not with them.
Yeah, no, that's what happened with me, and that's what happened with me in kind of the Turning Point crowd, to be completely honest, is once, when Turning Point started out as like an organization, they were about basically free speech and free markets, basically. But then once, and initially I was kind of, a lot of people, well, now people know this because it's kind of been put out there now, but what Charlie Kirk doesn't want a lot of people to know, or what he'd like people to forget, was that he was initially anti-Trump. Whereas, like, I wouldn't say I was pro-Trump from the beginning, but I was something like, yeah, the election's going to be interesting if this guy gets in there. And Charlie Kirk was decidedly anti-Trump up until Don Jr. came a-calling with his checkbook. Then it basically became Trumping Point USA, basically. And I was kind of like,
kind of my deal, both politically, ideologically, culturally, socially, is that I am antithetical to herd mentality. I am a very, very strong individualist, in the sense that I'm not with any group. If you start kind of getting everybody to wear fucking tracksuits and Reeboks, I'm fucking gone. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be part of your group. I'm not part of your party. I don't have a political group that I'm allied with. I may be pushing in the same direction with this group today, but then can be completely against them tomorrow. And often I am, because I'm just who I am.
Well,
I flub it up a little bit for my character when I'm like Genius Anus and everything, but I am who I am. I do what I want to do, how I want to do it, and you can ask both the people that like me and the people that hate me, for better or worse, I fucking stick to my fucking guns. I'm not with them is a very common phrase. Like the fucking atheist movement, when they found religion, it was like, I'm not with them. I used to be socially left. And then they lost, and I was laughing at the Tea Party people. And then they started fucking, yeah, we're a group now. I'm like, nope, I'm not with them. And I started getting chucked in with the Trump supporters, the fucking MAGA crowd, and everything. I'm like, I'm not with them. Because I'm a perpetual nomad. I never fucking stick around this stay in this sector of the internet is the longest stay I've ever had. And it's because I really haven't teamed up with anybody. I'm just here. As soon as people try to fucking lump me into like a fucking group, I'm probably gone, because the first thing you're going to hear me say is, I'm not with them.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's interesting for me because I have been in several groups as well, and the thing that I've kind of realized is, I know this may seem kind of a cop out, but people always like to say, "Oh, you've changed, in terms of X, Y, Z," and I always kind of feel like, well, maybe a little bit with age and whatnot, but also I feel like a lot of groups have left me. Like the Trump movement of 2016 is not what it is now. MAGA means something completely different than what it was when it first started, and now it's just a giant shit show, more or less. Of just
with Trump, I didn't vote for Trump in 2016, but I predicted accurately that he was going to win. And for me, it came down to almost like a lesser of two evils, but I didn't see Trump as evil. I just seen him as incompetent. And then after he got into office, I started looking at his policy by policy, and everything the shit that he was doing. And more times than not, I agreed with his policy. It's not like an overwhelming amount. I agreed with him about 60% of the time, which is a pretty high mark for a politician, because all politicians are scum and none of them are your friends. George Carlin said it best. It's a big club and we ain't in it. But even before I actually started believing that Trump could actually get some shit done, I was just lump summed in. Oh, you're just a bootlicker. Or you're just a Nazi and a fascist. But no, not really. I'm pro-choice, and I'm getting lumped in with a bunch of fucking right-leaning people. They're like, oh, you're just a baby killer. No, I said I'm pro-choice. I never said I was pro-abortion. I fucking hate abortion.
Yeah.
I just don't think the government should be able to fucking tell you. But God damn it, abortion is very fucking complicated with me, because I'm pro-choice, because fuck the government telling you what to do. But I'm also pro-life, because at some point the fetus becomes an American citizen, at least if we're talking about in America, which of course we are, because nowhere else fucking matters. So at some point, the fetus, the potential person, becomes an American citizen with constitutionally protected rights. So at some point, abortion does indeed become murder. I'm not entirely solid on where that happens. I'm not quite there with at conception, but I'm not too far off from that. I'm kind of in the first trimester, the early part of the first trimester. I tend to err on the side of where we're at medically, where we can take the baby out and it can be outside the womb and survive, which I believe is 17 weeks. There's been earlier, but I think we're pretty consistently medically at between 17 and 19 weeks. So I am almost entirely pro-choice for any reason whatsoever up to about 17 to 19 weeks. After that point, I consider it to be a citizen. I consider killing it at that point to be murder. And again, there's a lot of nuance to it. And I'm, as you can tell by the way, I'm kind of really breaking myself down here. Like, I'm not fully settled on where I land on it. I'm pro-choice in the sense of fuck the government. I'm pro-life on the sense of eventually that's going to be a person and people have rights.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You kind of more or less broke down my feeling on on the abortion thing too. The thing that is fascinating for me is a lot of people are like, oh well, the only reason why you're pro-life is because of your faith, and it's like, well, my faith actually has very little to do with why I'm
I think
pro-life.
I personally think that arguments on abortion based entirely on faith are fucking retarded.
No, I do too.
Like, if you're basing your entire view on abortion entirely on faith, then I think that you're taking the stupidest possible, because A, you don't have to. B, it's the weakest argument out of all of them for the pro-life side.
Yeah.
And C, again, you don't have to, because there's better arguments to be made that don't have to bring your faith into it. If you argue from faith, you're having to defend the raft from both ends. You're burning your raft at both ends. Because first you have to defend yourself on, well, what if your faith isn't the right faith, and all of that fucking gorgeous shit that you just have to fucking deal with. And then you still have to tackle the fucking idea of abortion. So you're splitting your resources when you do that. So it's just a fucking retarded stance to take. And again, you don't have to, because there's better arguments outside of that.
Well, and I mean, what's funny is, and I mean, I don't know. Now this video is definitely gonna get killed off of YouTube. I don't care at this point, because we're 2 hours in, so who cares? But I find it funny that, I've always been pro-vaccine up until COVID, and now just because I question the fact that they've been researching cancer for 60 years almost, and we haven't been able to find a cure, and yet somehow we're able to find a cure for COVID in under 4 months.
Well, yeah, and that's that I'm kind of like you on that, and I'm not anti-vax. But the thing is, there's a huge fucking difference between anti-vax, which is typically a position held by retards and porn stars. But what's the difference? Am I right? But anyway, there's a big difference between anti-vax and, hey, I have some fucking questions.
Yeah.
And as it turned out, the questions that people had were pretty fucking important, especially since we now have all this fucking documentation and studies and proof that those vaccines were doing more harm than good. And that's the thing. I'm okay with a vaccine. When we have a vaccine that we know will work, and that we know the pros outweigh the cons, yeah, you're fucking stupid if you don't take advantage of that. That's how we advanced as a civilization. We figured out what works and works well, and we utilize it. We are adaptive. That's what human beings are. But there's also a huge difference between the polio vaccine, which has, I don't know, fucking 80 years of being fucking viable, and, hey, we just shipped this out in fucking 4 months. If a mad scientist, this is a Fallout goat test, by the way.
Yeah.
If a mad scientist runs up to you with a fucking syringe and says, hey, I got this, it'll cure mutation or it might kill you, are you putting that in your fucking arm?
No.
I'm not. Unless it gives me an extra fucking perk.
For me, what it was, so I I've only gotten the regular flu shot once in my life, and that was when I was like in junior high, right? And coincidentally, the one time I got the flu shot, I got like as sick as a dog.
I
With
don't get
the
the flu shot every year, but I try to get it every other year. And yeah, you're probably gonna get the flu when you get the flu shot. That means it's working. But yeah, like
well, yeah. So,
what the thing
but
people have to
well,
understand about vaccines is this: vaccines are what you give your immune system to practice.
yeah.
It's a skeet shoot. It's you
Well,
throwing some clay doves that look like the virus that you're vaccinating for, and you say pull, and your immune system annihilates the motherfucker, and then it knows how to shoot better.
so yeah. So what I was gonna say though is in regards to the flu vaccine. So the one year I got the flu vaccine, I got the flu. All other years I've been fine, and so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just not gonna get the flu vaccine, right? And so my logic was kind of like, well, A, this COVID vaccine is untested. B, if I'm gonna get COVID anyway, do I really need a? So that was I kind of had the same logic that I did with the flu vaccine, basically,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so when I presented that argument with the flu vaccine, even people who were like pro flu vaccine, for the most part, were like, okay, well, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I can see where you were coming from. That's cool. That's fine. It's your personal choice. Yet when I brought up the same objections with the COVID vaccine, all of a sudden it became no. You have to get the COVID vaccine. Otherwise, you just want grandma to die, and you just want and you you could help like spread the next bubonic plague. I mean, it became, and so it was like, okay, well,
My response to
that's
that
weird.
was, yeah, maybe so, but you want grandma to die isolated and without me getting to attend a funeral or say goodbye.
Yeah.
And
Well,
also, fuck masks. Masks were fucking stupid. I don't care how many masks you fucking wear. You wear a fucking gas mask. It wasn't going to fucking help you or hurt you. Actually, it was more likely to fucking hurt. And one of the most stupid fucking arguments that I heard in support of masks was surgeons wear masks. You know why surgeons wear masks? It doesn't have to do with them breathing. It has to do with the fact that they have their fucking hands inside your vital organs. And if they have to cough or sneeze, they can't cover their fucking mouth. The mask is to
yeah,
make sure that their mouth is covered if they have to sneeze or cough or if a bead of sweat fucking falls off of their fucking mouth. That's what the
yeah.
mask is for.
Well, my whole thing was after they basically admitted that the symptom that COVID was no more dangerous than the flu. My whole equation, my whole answer with the whole you just want grandma to die thing is no, I don't want grandma to die, but at this point if she's 80, if she's 88 years old and at that much if she's at that much of a risk factor anyway, it might be her time to go. You know,
Possibly.
who's to who's to say that? Yeah, COVID might not kill her, but a billion other things are going to very well
But
do her
Sam,
in.
you're missing the point. We need to give amnesty for all the things that were done during COVID. We should be forgiving of the people that put infected people in with grandma to kill her faster.
Oh yeah,
We have to forgive them for locking us away in our fucking abodes and canceling Thanksgiving.
yeah,
We should forgive the people that made people lose their fucking jobs and livelihood. You know, we gotta give them amnesty. That's what
no,
grandma would have wanted.
well, no one. Yeah, I actually saw that you. It was either you or someone who we both follow, like, tweeted that or something. And my
I
response
tweeted
to
about it.
that, yeah, well, yeah, I think you tweeted about it, and your response was like "get fucked" or something, and
Yep.
I re I retweeted that. No,
Our
my
boy Razorfist cut a fucking amazing rant about it too, and his take was exactly the same as mine. Get fucked.
my well, my whole thing, and this is actually one of the things that got one of my videos taken down, was I was like, okay, I would like to know about the suicide rate during COVID, because there were small business owners that, because of the pandemic, they had to shut down, and unfortunately, they lost everything, and some of them took their lives. And we heard that suicides were up during the pandemic, but
And
they
on
never
that note,
told
I'm
us.
honestly surprised that during COVID we didn't have more incidents of the killdozer as well. Because, like I said,
Yeah,
there was a lot of people that fucking lost everything because of the COVID lockdowns.
yeah. No, no, there were people. Yeah, there were people who lost everything, and there's still a lot of unanswered questions about the lockdown.
And my response, and Razorfist's response, and anyone with activity above the brainstems, all of our responses have been get fucked. I'm not going to fucking forgive you for what you did during COVID lockdowns. I'm not going to forget what you fucking did. Get fucked.
No,
You
well,
don't get forgiveness. You don't get to fucking wash your hands of that. I am Brad Pitt from Inglourious Bastards. You may take that mask off, but I'm gonna give you something that you can't fucking take off. I'll carve a fucking swastika right into your fucking forehead. Metaphorically.
yeah,
Not literally, metaphorically. You're gonna wear a swastika on your forehead for what you did. You don't get to take that uniform off now.
yeah,
You
well,
don't get to fuck society that hard and then fucking walk away like nothing fucking happened. That's not how that's going to happen. People
well,
need to go to jail for what they fucking did during COVID lockdowns.
yeah, well, and then even the normie people who were totally, for all of that. Like, I have screenshots of people who,
I'm not talking
were
about the normie people. I'm talking about the people in power.
no,
Normie people are the cattle. They were fucking lied to and manipulated to. I have sympathy for them. But
I
let's
have.
face it, they're not the ones saying, oh, forgive and forget. They're the ones who are like, what the fuck happened to the country?
Yeah, no, and I'm in agreement with you up to a point. The only thing I would say with that is, there were some of my quote unquote friends who were all up in my ass about, not getting the vaccine, and then when the whole we need to, forgive and be kind, then they kind of came to me with open arms, and even with them, I'm like, I was kind of like, hey, I know that you did, I know that you thought what you were doing was good, but still, you were an asshole, and I'm at the very least, you could apologize to me for your assholeish behavior, and some of them have, and some of them haven't, but yeah.
My new mic might have been a good investment. Even Vickers thinks I sound pretty good. Then
Yeah,
again, he's probably drunk.
well, on Dr. Pepper or something at the very
Diet
least.
Dr. Pepper, you fucking heathen.
Oh, oh God, no, that's okay. I take it back. I take it back. Damio might actually be right. Diet Dr. Pepper? What the?
This man is the only reason that Diet Dr. Pepper still exists. Any other business venture would have failed were it not for the support of one coin merchant in Northern California. is keeping the entire Dr. Pepper fucking economy going.
I mean, shit. I fucking love regular Dr. Pepper, but Diet Dr. Pepper, first, diet anything, really, is just nasty.
Yeah, no, I can't do diet soda. That shit gives you cancer.
Well, that's what I keep trying to tell. That's what I keep trying to tell people. I mean, Vickers.
You know what? My regular soda might give me diabetes, but I just take a shot and eat more fucking cookies. Your shit gives you cancer. Good luck with that radiation.
Yeah, one. I mean, Genius already has an anus for a face, so you know.
I drink saline enemas. That's the only fucking drink for me.
There's not too much. Not much else can harm you. So
only a paddle.
At least it's brain cancer, so it's something got to bring me down to your level. I don't know, Vickers. You'll believe me. I believe me. I know you got ripped into the internet. Feet first, but believe me, stick around. You'll be
brain cancer. Well, thank God Vickers is safe. He's immune.
That's either because he's too big brained or because he doesn't have a brain at all. I'm not sure which.
Somebody's fishing for a super chat. That's what that was, you fucking fence sitter. Sam's like, I don't know. Maybe he's just so awesome and has super chat money, or maybe he's broke and gonna fucking have no brain. I don't know. You fucking grifter. You grifting cripple. You son of a bitch.
Listen, the Gamma Seeker Kings have called me a grifter for years, and at this point, I'm not denying it. Okay, the only thing is, I'm not grifting as hard on being crippled as I should.
Listen, people, you need to super chat. Handicap accessible prostitutes are not fucking cheap. You gotta help Sammy out.
That is very true.
You ever get the chicks that are like, I don't know, I've never been with a handicap before. Don't worry, my dick has a ramp.
my comeback to that once is, well, I've never been with a dumb bimbo either, so we're even there. So consider us even.
Sam has prostitutes confirmed. Oh man!
How dare you, sir? They're just all polite ladies.
So after they service you, do you do the Grand Theft Auto thing and back over them with your chair to get your money back? Sam's just like, beep, 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 1 star.
Yeah, and then I run away from the cops who are like too dumb to, they're always driving around in circles. So meanwhile, I can just turn a corner and all of a sudden the heat's off me. It's great. So
there you go. All you had to do was follow the damn train, Sammy.
yeah, that's all I had to do. I got away scot-free. So old ass GTA
Triple Theft Auto.
Can you even run over? See, this is why I'm
You know,
attracted
you
to
know, my fucking brain is working here. There was the fucking Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks, and we do know that it's taking place in Florida. Sammy, what have you done?
Listen, Vice City took place in Florida too.
Sammy Versetti? I haven't heard that name in years.
Unlike Ray Liotta, I'm still alive.
Oh, too soon. You're not. That's not very good, fella, of you. Go get your fucking shine box.
Motherfucker.
Oh man, people got to quit living us unattended, man. Without Akaba and fucking Apex, we're just fucking running over hookers and shit everywhere.
Vickers comes in expecting a nice, chat about politics. He just stumbles into this. So.
Well, I mean, you can have a conversation about running over prostitutes and it still be about politics. Let's be fucking fair here.
Well, let's be honest. At least the ones that I like are of legal age. I'm not sniffing any children's. What I'm not having kids sniff my legs. Joe Biden.
What? Corn Pop was a bad dude. Come here, little Susie. We're gonna get a photo op. How many the pressure? It's in the the thing. You want to pet my leg hair?
Fucking yeah, man. How is that? I will give him this. There's no shortage of entertaining stuff to watch from him as president. It's just, unfortunately, it's all just meme material.
It'd be funny if it was a fucking sitcom. Why, Andy, I didn't know that we would abandon the military base with all that equipment. Oh, gosh. Golly gee.
Wait, you mean to tell me that America for the past 15 years hasn't been a sitcom? We're not actually in the Truman Show?
I don't know, but good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
This is you mean to tell me that all this shit isn't a show for another world or something?
No, it's not the Truman Show, but I was talking about the movie Liar Liar, which is probably the best law movie outside of fucking Mike Hudson Vinny today. Talking about people being fucking litigious liars. Kicking my own ass. Do you mind?
Well,
I can't remember what the fuck I was talking about with that, but I do remember referencing that movie a lot today.
Well, I will also say that Joe Pesci is more believable of a lawyer than Mike Cernovich is at this point.
I don't know. Isn't he the one that FOIA'd the fucking Epstein shit? Or am I thinking of a different lawyer that's in the political sphere?
No, that would indeed be Cernovich.
Yeah, that dude is hit or miss with me because one day he'll do something really fucking awesome, and then the next day he'll open his fucking mouth and just ruin all the fucking good grace that he got from it.
Yeah, well, that's how I'm with Gavin McInnes. Gavin McInnes will have really good points one day, and then he'll do the.
Gavin McInnes scares the shit out of me because I can only name one fucking cereal under pressure. And props to anybody that understands that fucking joke.
Oh yeah, I totally.
I was like, that's a little esoteric of a joke, but fucking if you get it, you get it.
that is one thing where I will say Anthony Cumia was right about though. I remember I remember because I subscribed to Compound back when Gavin was one of the hosts over there. And if you remember the whole Proud Boys thing started off as a joke. And
Yeah.
I do remember at one point Anthony Cumia was like, this might go wrong at some point.
I actually think that a lot of these political movements start off as jokes and then people take it seriously. And then the people that were in on the joke start making money and they just don't fucking know what to do with it. I mean, I can't legitimately think of any other way that a Mexican leader of the white race can come to power other than, haha, this is a funny joke. Oh shit, people are buying it. What the fuck? Like,
Yeah, no, that's literally how I ended up on this side of the internet. Was
like there
because
used to be the have you ever seen the Vice Media meme on how they choose how to pick a story? He covers his eyes and throws a fucking suction cup dildo over his fucking head and it hits the wall and whatever it lands on is what they fucking write a story about. I feel like all these political groups or they just put a bunch of political bullshit on a fucking wall and they pull a dildo out of their ass and just fucking throw it at the wall and whatever it sticks on, they're like, yeah, we're running on that. Our political ideology is based off. Looks like 3 brands of cereal while we beat the shit out of each other. Got it. And then,
yeah.
pop a bad dragon out, throw it at the wall, sticks Mexican leader of the white race. Got it.
Well, I think that I think the other thing is like that Medicare is right that monetization on YouTube. I mean, it was great. It was great for creators, but it ruined YouTube.
Monetization on social media ruined our fucking culture because that's how YouTube fucking hit the drain. That's how TikTok became a thing. Before TikTok, there was Vine. And I swear to God, all the good faith I have in Elon, if he brings back Vine like he's talking about, I'll never fucking forgive him. Fuck Vine. Let it die. But apparently he is talking about bringing video content to Twitter with full monetization. So, I don't know.
Listen, well, he's listen, as long as I can actually get verified, that's as long as verification is actually means verification instead of like celebrity status. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, I mean, if Elon can make Twitter Spaces a little bit more accessible and functional, and if he can, I think he said you can get up to 49 or 50 minutes of high definition video or whatever with monetization. So if he can meld those two ideas together, he could probably compete with YouTube and Spotify at the same time to be like it. I tried out Twitter Spaces and for whatever, like in the end, it ended up being a failed experiment. But I really think that if you combine video with the Twitter Spaces and everything like that, and you actually get people in there that know how to fucking code it properly, that would be like the ultimate podcasting setup. Would be Twitter Spaces plus like video.
Yeah.
And I would pay $8 to be able to fucking do that. $8 a month to have a functional Twitter Spaces with video to do a podcast. That's worth it.
Yeah, I would pay $8 a month for that as well. I did actually subscribe to Twitter Blue for like 2 months, and that was like when it was $5. And it was okay, but it wasn't $5 worth it. It said it would get rid of ads, but it didn't. It only reduced ads.
Yeah.
Because people could still pay to boost tweets, which is essentially the same thing as
I don't know. I also tweeted at Elon and I asked him hypothetically if he made it to where you could pay $8 a month to take away somebody's verified badge. I would fucking pay $8 a month for that.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
And then just go with me on this. $8 a month to put a badge on someone else's profile. Huh? You imagine all the fun we could have with that. I'd pay $8 a month to put a fucking cuck badge on somebody's profile. Someone in a wheelchair.
Who's not me?
Yeah, totally. It would never be you.
Well, I mean, I already have all the Listen, I already have the mic emoji on my profile. So,
but no, imagine if you could pay $8 a month to put a badge on somebody. And then imagine how many of the fucking big media journalists and shit would immediately have their profile belted down with fucking badges that say like fake news or learn to code or something like that.
I'm just thinking I would love to see an icon of a horse on a certain profile.
Yeah, but Trojan already, I think they already have a better icon.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, if Elon really wants to just make fucking bukus of money, instead of trying to work with the people that are fucking whining and complaining right now, he needs to weaponize the people that have been getting shit on for the past 10 years. And be like, yeah, $8 a month, you can put a badge on somebody's fucking profile and it can say whatever you want. And the person that you put it on, if people can sponsor your badge. So you can pay $8 a month and then people can co-sign that with their $8 a month. And then the people that have it on there can also countersign it with $8 a month. And then basically whichever one has the most money, Twitter takes in the money on both sides. But whether or not the badge shows up or not depends on which side has the most money going into it per month. You would weaponize the hate. You would monetize it. That would be a business model that would make him even richer.
There's actually a flare option for that sort of thing on Reddit of all places. So
really, now I feel kind of dirty coming up with the idea that Redditors figured out.
Well, which by the way, I don't. We mentioned internet forums earlier, and someone on my Twitter DMs mentioned, what about Reddit? And Reddit is one of those things where, again, the format is one of those things I don't necessarily mind. It's the people who.
Yeah, I was going to say the format of Reddit is okay. It's just the people that run Reddit are not. It would have to. I think we're moving. I think to get what I was talking about, we're going to have to decentralize and defediverse the internet or I don't know much about the Fediverse. I haven't looked too much into it. There's like posts and chud buds and shit like that. And I'm not entirely certain how it works, but I think decentralizing the internet is going to be a very important thing because in concept, it would solve a lot of problems. But as Josh from the Kiwi Farms has pointed out, the big impediment to anything, even with, fucking Elon buying Twitter, and even if he makes it like the fucking best it could be with fucking free speech and N-word towers everywhere, the big problem is always going to come back to the banks and the fucking payment processors. That is a bottleneck, and we've been trying to solve that bottleneck for like a fucking 100 years. But it's only become super relevant in like the past 10. Like, we've always been trying to bust up the Fed and figure out how to fucking get around this big problem. But with like internet and social media type shit, it's become the forefront. And eventually we are going to have to solve that problem. because someone like Elon Musk can make a free speech, or, you know, Josh Moon can make the Kiwi farms. But then there's all these different bottlenecks interconnected. Then if any of them get shut off, it just fucks it entirely. You can't support it financially if you're not allowed to have money. You can't have money if the payment processors say they just won't process the payments. You can't have money if the banks say that they won't hold your money. You can't host a website if all the fucking places that host the website say they won't host it. And if one of them says that they will host it, then they get they get blocked by the fucking same, one hand washes the other. And at some point or another on these bottlenecks, you get fucked. And it's a very complex problem. And I am a genius, but I'm not quite smart enough to figure out exactly how you solve that problem, because most of the solutions I've heard, while they probably would work, are pie in the sky and they fall to one of those bottlenecks.
Well, genius, don't you know? And this is one I hear from conservatives all the time. If you don't like it, just build your own thing. That's how.
Yeah, good luck building your own when you can't take any money to fucking finance it, or find an ISP to fucking host it, or find a provider to fucking do the web domain.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, that's the thing is the unapologetic, like, conservative capitalist types they don't understand.
If you want to build your own, if you want to build your own internet, here's how you could do it. You would have to do it in a decentralized thing, kind of like peer-to-peer. You would have to build your own infrastructure, which is going to take a lot of initial investment. You're going to have to get your money in a way that the banks don't have a way to stop it. So you're either going with the more logistically viable crypto, or you're literally having people send you like fucking money orders or cash or gold coins or whatever through the mail. And then hoping that the government itself doesn't fuck you over there with either the IRS or some other fucking treasury enforcement. And then that's basically how you do it. You'd have to make your own little island. You would have to build everything that makes the internet work. You would have to build yourself, and you would have to do it outside of the financial structure that we currently have.
Well, yeah, we in order to do what we really want to, we would have to essentially build our own banking system, which isn't going to happen.
Yeah, right. And that's the problem. All these bottlenecks, yeah, there are solutions to it, but it's all pie in the sky type shit. Because Visa would have to not shut you down. The ADL would have to not get you canceled from your provider. Cloudflare or the Cloudflare alternatives would have to provide DDoS, because while your speech isn't illegal, they're totally fine with the illegal shit that gets done to take your website down, circumventing that, right? So, and that's kind of where we're at, and that's why, as much as I love to make fun of Tim Pool with the Civil War shit, that's kind of where we're at as a country. We've reached an immovable object, unstoppable force kind of point.
Well, Tim Pool I heard him make the argument a few weeks ago, and I'm like, he might not be completely wrong on this. Is what if we're already in a civil war? We just haven't heard any gunshots yet.
Well, that wouldn't make Tim Pool wrong. That would make him right, because he says that we're currently basically in civil war, but it's fourth generation warfare. So we're in a culture war, civil war. And I am a proponent of that. I believe that we are absolutely in a cultural civil war. We're not shooting each other, but we're still fucking killing people. We're taking away their jobs, their ability to feed their family, their ability to speak and participate. Like, you might as well kill someone if you unpersonal. Like Alex Jones. Yeah, nobody walked up to him with a fucking gun and shot him, but they basically, if they're allowed to finish doing what they're doing, they've basically killed Alex Jones, because not only can he not make money, can he not fucking go around and do his shit, but any money that he does make just gets taken away from him to pay people that fucking honestly shouldn't have the fucking money. Sorry if that fucking offends you. Those motherfuckers don't deserve a fucking dime, and I hope that they get a single fucking penny that they choke on it. I hope they get paid exclusively in $2 bills and fucking steel pennies.
Well, yeah, and with that whole thing too, I mean, and Vic was exactly right. We're in a cold war right now.
Yeah.
The whole thing about the whole Alex Jones thing is he basically got deplatformed for something
He got depersoned.
Yeah, he got depersoned. Not really for anything that he even said, but it was more like for something of how someone interpreted what he said.
Yeah.
Because he never said that Sandy Hook was a false flag. He just said that he could see it potentially being used as a false flag. Big difference.
Well, he was also saying all of this stuff as the story developed, and while he was live on air, and he's just getting all these fucking different reports and tapes and people calling in. Actually, most of the fucking worst shit that they said he said wasn't him saying it. It was people calling into the show and saying it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the Alex Jones thing really fucking pisses me off because it was a kangaroo court scenario, and I lost what very little faith I had in the American legal system with that, because that should never happen. Like, our Constitution should have firmly prevented that from ever getting as far as it did, let alone the fact that we're still not done with it. There's still so much more. And Vicker's like, yeah, he decides to declare bankruptcy. Alex Jones is probably one of the most hated fucking people in America right now when it comes to the establishment. What happens when he tries to declare bankruptcy and they fucking deny the bankruptcy? Like, and you can't say that can't happen because they just ran him through a court trial where he wasn't able to defend himself. They wouldn't let him speak at his own fucking trial. They wouldn't let him face his accusers. They wouldn't give him due process.
Yeah.
All that shit's enshrined in the Constitution, the same as bankruptcy law. They completely took away his legal rights, just fucking across the board. And I don't know what would fucking happen. Like, there's the Bundy Ranch thing where there was a huge standoff between a bunch of cattle ranchers and the American government. And then before that, there was Waco. And before that, there was Ruby Ridge. And there's all these points. And this is a moment like that where what happens when he tries to declare bankruptcy after he gets fucked by the court system again, and they say, no, actually, you do actually have to pay the fucking GDC of France to these people. And he's like, well, I don't have the money, so I'm going to declare bankruptcy. And then they say, well, actually, no, we're going to not give you your bankruptcy. It's civil. It's not criminal.
Yeah.
To answer your question.
I mean,
like, my point is, we're in clown world, and shit that should be normally how stuff operates isn't how it operates, and it hasn't been for a while. And Alex Jones is a pretty fucking exceptional and wild example of it, but that it's like the fucking poem from fucking Nazi Germany. First they came for the socialists, and I said nothing because I wasn't a socialist. Then they came for the but then they came for me, and there was nobody left to defend me. Alex Jones is the point of the spear right now. Whether you love him, hate him, agree with him, or whatever, what they're doing to Alex Jones is the template for how they're going to handle everybody else that they do not like. So if we don't figure out this problem, if we don't fucking solve this fuck up, then the next person is just one rung down from Alex Jones, and they'll climb that ladder all the way down until they're going after regular people. And we found out that they hired all these IRS agents and trained them how to use fucking guns. Who the fuck do you think that's for? What do you think they're going to do with that?
Yeah. Yeah, and now they're trying to say that's Photoshopped. And I mean, it's gotten to the point where like I used to hate Alex where I used to despise Alex Jones, but
Me
now
too.
it's gotten to the point where like I'm actually a fan. Like the more they don't want me to like them, the more I like them.
For me,
So
it's kind of that, but it's also, I can tell you the exact point that I quit disliking Alex Jones and started actually paying attention to him. And it's that fucking gay frog story. That was the point where I was like, you know what? Alex Jones is onto something, because I laughed and laughed and laughed my ass off. Like, oh my God, they're putting chemicals in the water to turn the friggin' frogs gay. This dude's fucking insane. There's no fucking way. It turns out not only was he right, but he was reading from declassified documents, actual documents. It's there in black and fucking white. You can look up the study. You can go look up exactly what he was looking at. It's not a secret. It's not hidden. You can find it. And while he was, while he was being extreme about it, he wasn't wrong at all. Like, it wasn't a lie. He was hamming it up a little bit, but if you read that study that he was talking about, it was literally a company put chemicals in the water, and it didn't so much turn the frogs gay as it fucked up their mating ritual to where they were trying to fuck male frogs. The male frogs got confused on what was male and female, and they started fucking other male frogs.
yeah, and the thing of it is Alex even stated later on that that's what it was. Alex,
Yeah.
I literally heard Alex Jones. So I became a fan of. Well, I wouldn't say become a fan of his, but I started to understand. Um, I started to understand Alex Jones the first time he went on to Joe Rogan's podcast and said, "Look, a lot of what I say is for theatrics, but
But I'm also trying to inform."
yeah." And so he explained, and when he explained the gay frogs thing, he's like, "Yeah, I said make the frogs gay because it's theatrical and it gets listeners
And
on the
it's almost
radio."
literally what it is. Like, it's not.
Yeah,
It might be a little extreme, but it is literally what fucking happened when you read into it. It's like, it's fucking insane, but it's true. And big shout out to someone I really like, Phil Labonte, who is the lead singer and founding member of a metal band called All That Remains. If you ever listen to them, they're fucking awesome.
I love Phil. I love All That Remains.
Yeah, and on Twitter, he's at Phil That Remains, and he's a fucking great dude. I fucking love him. But and also, if you've never listened to All That Remains, their album The Fall of Ideals is a fucking masterpiece. Just listen to that fucking album. It'll change your life. It's fucking great. But anyway, one of my favorite episodes of the Tim Pool IRL podcast was, it had Phil on with Alex fucking Jones. And the entire time, every time they cut to Phil, he's just like, Alex Jones is always right. And like, that perfectly encapsulated how I feel about Alex Jones. That's exactly how I want a t-shirt of Phil with his fucking facial expression while he's saying that. It says Alex Jones is always right.
well, it's like so my mom, she hates Alex Jones still. She's like, he's just a fearmonger. He's just a fear peddler. And I'm like, well, that might be true, Mom, but also look at the state of the world right now. It's getting pretty bleak when you can say, yeah, he might be a fearmonger, yeah, he might be a little crazy, but he's also not wrong right now about
the homeless guy with the little placard sign that says the end is nigh seems crazy all the way up until the point you look up in the sky and a fucking meteor's bearing down on you.
Yep.
In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
Yeah, and that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
honestly, I think it says more about the establishment media than anything else, that the fact that Alex Jones is more credible than any of the fucking established media. The
Well,
fact that the man screaming and ripping his shirt off about alpha male vitality and selling fucking supplements is more credible than a man in a suit on the fucking news should scare the living shit out of fucking everybody, right, left, or otherwise.
well, you know what I love too is like this was one of the things that always got me was they were always I remember when Richard Spencer, was a thing, and they wrote all these profile pieces on how horrible, the guy was, and yet they were the ones, doing the
Punching him.
profiling. And it was like, no, well, not even punching them. The media was the one who created Richard Spencer. I
Yeah.
guarantee you, if GQ wrote an article in which they basically said Richard Spencer. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, of course, but they essentially said Richard Spencer looks really fucking cool, but he's still a fucking bad guy and a Nazi. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, okay, so you just gave him a compliment, you just elevated him, even though you said this guy is horrific. And that's what I'm getting at too. Like a lot of these so-called, enemies that they like to promote are people that they like to bash, or people they've promoted, all the same. Like, I don't think we would know who Richard Spencer even is if he didn't get so much mainstream media attention. Same thing.
Yeah, and they have a habit of creating their own worst enemies. It's like Trump with the 2016 election. Originally, Hillary Clinton's team propped him up against all of his opponents because they thought he was going to be an easy target to fucking beat. And that's what the media is doing when they create a Richard Spencer. They go look through these crowds of people that they disagree with, and they find what they think is the most absurd and outlandish one, and then they spotlight them and say, see, this is what all these people are. All of these people are side-shaved Nazis, white supremacists, and whatever, espousing this white nationalism shit. But Richard Spencer was just one dude at a crowd of 50,000, and most of that crowd did not believe anything near what he did.
Right. And also, in regards to the whole Nazi thing, everyone pretty much ridiculed Richard Spencer, made fun of him, and was like, haha, yeah, go home, faggot.
Yeah.
You're like
the side that he was said to represent made fun of him just as hard as everybody else. The only difference is whenever he got punched in an interview, that side said, hey, that's fucking no, you don't do that. Because that was fucking bullshit. Like, I hate Richard Spencer. I have no fucking love for him at all. Shouldn't have been punched. The person who punched him should have went to jail for assault.
Yeah.
Laws and consequences are what separate us from the animals. And yes, that is a John Wick quote, and no, I'm not sorry.
That's one of the best quotes from the movie, actually. So,
rules and consequences.
So,
no, I have to disagree with you. The best quote is, "You stabbed the devil in the back and expected to walk away." Or what is it? No, it's, "You stabbed the devil in the back and didn't expect him to come back for revenge," or something. It's something along that lines.
Oh yeah, I forgot about all.
God damn, I gotta watch the movies again if I'm fucking misquoting.
Yeah, it's time for me to watch. It's time for me to do a rewatch. I rewatch him, like, I hate to say it, I rewatch him like 3 times.
Dude, I bought the trilogy on YouTube just so I could watch them on my phone. Like, I'll be fucking having to wait in line somewhere, and I'll be watching fucking John Wick on my phone. I swear to God, I'm addicted to that fucking movie.
Me too. John Wick's anonymous. So
I fucking can't wait for 4. It's gonna be great. I'm pissed off, John. How about you?
I literally described. I'm glad Vickers is here because he'll
It looks like he dipped out.
Shit.
You missed him.
I was about ready to pay the Jolly Man a compliment, and he missed it. I was.
He had to go pee.
Maybe I'll catch the replay. Someone was like, Mr. Vickers shouldn't get involved in online. He shouldn't get involved in the online, in the online shit talking community. And I basically explained, okay, Vickers is the internet equivalent of John Wick. You don't necessarily want to provoke him, but they did, and so now he's coming for everyone, basically.
I actually recently had a discussion with somebody that is a firm believer that he shouldn't be involved with any of the online discussions or fucking shit talking and everything. I was like, you know what? That's a fair criticism of the man. And it's a criticism that I share on a lot of things. But here's the thing, and here's the difference, and here's why I don't fucking tell him, you know what, you need to get off the internet and quit fucking tweeting and shit. He has more of a dog in this fight than us on the sidelines. Like, as far as who gets to be in the arena and who doesn't, he literally has 2 family members that are involved in it. His whole family, actually. If you want to get real with it, his whole family is involved in it. So the man has a dog in the fight. He's in the arena.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we want to go metaphorical here, he literally is John Wick in the sense that,
they killed his dog.
Yeah. And so, yeah, obviously, what did they think he was going to do? Just sit, on the sidelines. And the thing I think that really annoys some of them is that he can trash talk and shitpost better than a lot of them can.
So I guess if we're doing John Wick analogies for this shit, that makes me John Leguizamo, right? I get to be Aurelio?
Yeah, I guess so.
But John, you love this car. Can you fix it? Yeah. Should have it done by Christmas.
2049.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if we're doing John Wick analogies, I can either be Aurelio, Willem Dafoe. I don't think I could qualify as Winston or Sharon. So I would have to be Aurelio.
I don't qualify as Sharon because I'm not black.
I wasn't going to bring race into it, but
maybe I could. Well, I can't really qualify. I would see you more as Winston, actually, since you're the one who's kind of, I guess, helping Vickers navigate through the internet world. In a way.
I mean, if you come at it from that angle, I would either be Winston or I would be the Bowery King.
I mean, you're just as jovial as fuck.
Winston.
Lawrence Fishburne, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Just as animated at that time.
Will somebody please get this man a meme? I don't know. It's still weird to me whenever I get I don't know, it's cringe to even talk about it. I fucking hate talking about it, but sometimes I have to. It's weird. It's still weird to me whenever I get like fucking fan mail or some shit, or people are like, "Oh yeah, you were great," or what? I don't know. As much as people love to call me a fucking clout chaser and shit like that, like I'm a literal fucking who. It's all I've ever been, all I've ever aspired to fucking be when it comes to the internet. Like, I don't want to be anybody on the internet.
You know what's interesting is I used to want to. It wasn't even so much that I wanted to clout chase so much. Literally, all I wanted to do initially was like monetize the podcast, but now because it's turned into this whole thing and it's gotten so weird, I'm just happy to do the show for the sake of the show.
See, I like doing a podcast. I can't do it by myself because when I'm talking to myself, I get crazy. So that's why I tell you and I tell Vickers, like, anytime you want me, I'm game for it because I just like the fucking podcast format. But as far as monetization, I don't like the typical monetization of shit. I like more of like the tip jar. Like
Yeah.
I don't, not even like super chats. I just like here's a way that you can give me money. If you feel that I've entertained you or I've earned $1 or whatever, throw $1 in the fucking jar. Right?
Yeah.
I'm more of a busket type of performer. I don't want to fucking, oh, you better give me some shekels or I'm not going to wear the vest. That's just not me. Because I don't think I've been a firm user of ad blocker and all this shit. Even for people that I genuinely like and like their content, I don't do ads or anything on the Timcast. I watch Timcast almost every fucking night. I'll start it late just so I can skip his whole fucking grifting shit with the fucking supplements because I'm just like, I'm not here for that. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm more communist than I'd like to fucking believe, but I don't know. I'm weird on that. But
well,
I would genuinely like to maybe do like a podcast or something or write a blog, but I don't want to monetize it. I just want to be like, here's a jar. Throw me a quarter.
Yeah.
Or don't throw me a quarter. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I've always had I've kind of always had your whole attitude about, hey, if you want to support the show, great. If not gonna hurt my feelings either. And that's what made I got into a beef 2 years ago now with Mersh of Revenge of the Sith, and in hindsight it's actually funny because he basically went for all the low hanging fruit, which is essentially that I'm crippled, and he was like, you'll never be at the level that I'm at because I know how to grind, this thing. I know how to monetize it. And it was just like, it was super douchey and super self-important. And I'm like, well, I do the show because I actually enjoy it, not because I'm looking for a quick cash cow, and podcasts are trendy right now, which is why a lot of people do it. I think it's not because they enjoy the format, it's because they just want to extract as much money from it as possible.
Yeah, that's kind of my general thing. I like the podcast format because I just like conversation. That's why I enjoy doing the podcast shit. It's just a conversation, and if other people want to listen to that conversation or fucking discuss or whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, come on! Why the Tim Pool hate? Let me tell you kids about Tim Pool. All right. Tim Pool is a great journalist because he's authentic and genuine. He sometimes has really fucking stupid takes, and I can't stand Ian. But Tim Pool has been genuine in his journalism since fucking Occupy Wall Street, which is where I first discovered him. I first discovered Tim Pool before Vice and everything else when he was just a dude out on the street streaming the fucking Occupy Wall Street shit. And again, he has some pretty fucking stupid takes. Some really stupid fucking takes. But kind of like with Tucker Carlson, who also has some really stupid fucking takes, I at least know that they're genuine. With Tucker Carlson, I had to read that motherfucker's book to figure out he was genuine because his show was kind of all over the place. But with Tim Pool, like, he's been consistently genuine and authentic from the get-go.
Yeah. Here's the thing: if people don't have at least some shit takes, then they're not.
Then they're not authentic because they're not fucking saying anything. I don't look for people to get it right all the time. I look for people to say what's on their fucking mind and quit trying to play to an audience.
Yeah, no, I probably have some shit takes according to some
people.
Yeah. I mean, you say, oh yeah, I'm generally curious. I'm not even that. What can you name any of them? I'd be curious.
Not off the top of my head, no. We agree on the Street Fighter question, and I'm kind of drawing a blank on anything else.
I can tell you one that got me a lot of flack from a lot of, like, I hate to say the word mainstream conservative just because it's what even is a mainstream conservative? That seemed like an oxymoron, to be honest. But one of the things that I got a lot of flack for was when I yelled at Charlie Kirk because he was a hypocrite in basically kicking out Brandy Love from a Turning Point convention because he wanted to say, oh well, Turning Point is an organization for everyone, but except if you're a porn star. And it's like she wasn't even there as in a porn star capacity. She was just visiting. and I
wait a second. Am I to believe that you, Sam Whitfield of the Whitfield Report, went to bat for a porn star? Oh, I clutch at my pearls.
I know. Shocking, right? It wasn't intention that I wanted to bat for a porn star that I guess, outraged people. It was more that I dared to question the great and powerful Charlie Kirk, who was the
how dare you? I have to admit that is probably a stupid fucking take, and if I knew who Charlie Kirk was or cared to fucking know, I would probably be really offended right now.
I mean,
oh my God! This is how my brain works. You just have to fucking go with me on this. We're gonna go completely off topic for a second. But talking about porn stars made me remember this, even though I tried to bleach it from my memory. Guess who has a fucking OnlyFans now?
Denise Richards. I knew that.
No, far worse. Far worse. Any guess? If you haven't seen it, you're never going to fucking believe me, but I swear to God, you can look it up on Twitter right now because they've been posting about it today.
Stormy Daniels. That doesn't surprise me at all.
No. Fucking Boogie. Boogie 2988, Francis, Fat Boogie, fucking fire a warning shot in the air. That guy has a fucking OnlyFans.
That doesn't surprise me either.
He's calling it Boogie Nights. And he posted a topless picture selfie of him taking the fucking weird bathroom mirror selfie where he's completely naked, but he's got his waist tucked up on the fucking counter of the bathroom. So you can't see his dick, kind of like Boogie. But yeah, he has a fucking OnlyFans.
That all I can think back to is did you ever see the episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza goes to get like a professionally done like portrait to pick up a chick, and it winds up being like an erotic photo shoot.
Yeah, I remember that. I can see the painting in my head. It was him laying on like a fucking fur rug or something.
Yeah. That's basically what I'm picturing with Boogie, but basically in my head right now.
But yeah, I was scrolling through Twitter today, and Boogie's talking about OnlyFans. I was like, no fucking way. Yeah, fucking way. This motherfucker has an OnlyFans now, and he's doing it. Like, at first I was like, okay, haha, Boogie, you're doing a fucking shit take of a fucking spoof or whatever, where it's just going to be pictures of you chugging Mountain Dew or some shit. You're all right? No, he's actually doing the pornographic thing.
Well, it's funny that you say that though, because I did tweet like a few years ago. I'm like, shit, if they keep kicking people off Patreon, then the normal content creators are going to have to go to OnlyFans, to.
Well, that begs the question, Sammy. How long until we get your feet pics on OnlyFans? Do you even have feet as a cripple? Do you even have feet?
Oh yeah. There actually are. There are photos somewhere online of my crippled feet.
You need to do an OnlyFans and just nothing but feet pic. I bet you make more doing that than this podcast. What do you want to bet? I'll take that bet right now. The sad thing is you're right. I don't even need to. I don't even need to take an. I don't even need to take an opposing bet on that. You need to start a fucking OnlyFans tomorrow and call it Crippled Feet. It just every day take a picture of your fucking crippled feet and see how much money you can make. Grift it for me, Sammy. I want to vicariously live through your crippled body.
So you wanted Johnny Silverhand me, but in reverse.
Fuck it, I'm game. Yeah, let's do that. I want to see Sam Whitfield make a fucking career out of OnlyFans cripple feet.
Oh, there's a market for just about anything now. It's weird.
And when you make your first $100, you need to do a special bonus where you sell your bath water.
Yeah, but what I'll do is I'll just fill random tap water and then put bath water on the way.
No, that's fraud. That's fraud. You gotta watch out. The dude that bought Bella Delphine's bath waters tried to sue her over that shit. You need to take you a nice hot bath and pee and fart in it, and then bottle that shit up and send it to Apex because we know he's the one buying it. He's trying to get that super male vitality.
So Belle Delphine actually did get sued successfully over that?
I don't know if it was successful or not, but the dude that bought her bath water scientifically analyzed it and somehow determined that it wasn't actually bath water and tried to sue her for it. I distinctly remember that fucking headline, but I never cared enough to look into it, but I do definitely remember that happening.
All I can say to that is wow.
At least Bella Delphine eventually fucking, when she was legal, fucking actually took a dick. She just pissed off all of her fans because it was eventually a black dick.
Yeah. What do you make of this whole Amaranth thing or whatever? That's
It's fucking fake. People could call me a fucking misogynist or whatever the fuck they want. That's all bullshit. It's
yep.
all bullshit. Did you read the fucking text messages that she was releasing where he's like, I just got rid of $750,000 and it's gone. Next goes this bank account. I'm just like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that this is real. There's no fucking way that this is happening. There's no way that this is a fucking thing. This is a fucking scam. This is a scam. She's fucking. The Twitch told her that she couldn't do fucking hot tub streams or something, and she's trying to figure another way out. And or her fucking income is taking a hit or something, and she needed to get attention. There's no way any of that was fucking real at all. I do not believe it. Big fucking X.
yeah.
And fuck her for it. Fuck her. I hope she did get beat by her husband after that fucking stunt. Because fuck Amaranth. Fuck Dots. Fuck Twitch Dots. Fuck them all. They're fucking scum of the earth. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was dubious of it just because it got so much publicity instantly, so you want to hear another hot take? I don't actually think that Kanye West is an anti-Semite. I think he's.
I know Kanye West is an anti-Semite.
I said isn't, and
yeah, I know, and that's what I said. He's not. There's no way he is.
Yeah, no, I think Kanye is crazy. That much is obvious, but I think Kanye is literally like seeking attention. And
here's a fucking hot take for you. Anyone that ends up within 3 jumps from a Kardashian is fucking nuts. I know, shocker.
Well,
it's weird how that fucking works.
Well, Joe Rogan had a whole bit about that in his last special that had me. Like Joe Rogan's stand-up doesn't usually have me dying laughing, but the bit he did about the Kardashians making men go crazy to the point where Bruce turned into a chick, that bit had me rolling on the floor laughing. I
don't know. I haven't watched a whole lot of stand-up specials lately. The most recent one I watched was a guy you need to watch because I think you might have a lot of similarities with him. His name is Brad Williams, and he's a midget. And he
I've seen Brad Williams.
Have you seen the midget, the part where he runs across the stage? I'm a midget. I'm a midget. I'm a midget. I'm a midget.
There used to be this comedian who actually has cerebral palsy by the name of Josh Blue. I don't know if
he was on Last Comet Standing, wasn't he? Wasn't he that dude?
Yeah, which is how I first discovered him way back in the day.
I remember watching that. He's fucking funny.
Yeah, he did this joke at how like people would always think that he was drunk, but it was really just him, having cerebral palsy, which hasn't really happened to me that much, but it did happen. It did happen one time. So,
God, that's a blast from the past. That was like what, 12 years ago?
More like, I think it was more like 15.
That's been fucking forever ago. I do distinctly remember watching him though, because he was on Last Comet Standing, and he fucking killed, man.
Yeah, and all of his jokes were actually making fun of his disability.
Yeah, and he even had jokes that weren't about that were fucking funny too. Which is, granted, self-deprecation jokes are great, but I don't like it when people that's all they fucking do, like Amy Schumer. Oh, my vagina smells like a barnyard, huh? It's probably because you fuck pigs, you fat whore.
Yeah, no, I agree. The self-deprivation jokes do get a bit much. However, I will say that I do kind of miss it a little bit because now, because of the cancel culture mob, you can't even self-deprecate because it might offend someone.
Dude, comedy was so fucking dead that back in like 2016, 2017, Jerry fucking Seinfeld was like, yeah, I'm not doing colleges anymore. Well, why not? Because they want to cancel me. And if a bland motherfucker like Jerry Seinfeld is having a hard time on the comedy circuit, then it's got to be fucking rough.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck do you even get offended about a joke on fucking razor blades on a goddamn plane? Why do they have a disposal box on the plane? How much shaving are you doing? Oh my god!
What's the deal with laundry detergent? What's the
Right?
deal with laundry detergent?
Which, not to power level too much. Back in like the 2013 to 2015 ish area, I was fucking doing stand up and shit at dive bars and shit like that, and I quit because of cancel culture too, because I got tired of college kids in the crowd going, boo. But wait,
I don't blame you. I just got sick and tired of like people during the era like coming up to me and just speaking me really slow because they think I needed the extra time to understand.
hi. Do you need help with your groceries?
Ma'am,
No, I need help carrying my. Nah, bitch, I need help carrying my dick. Say ah.
ma'am, are you having a stroke right now? Because you're speaking real slow.
You should carry your fucking handicap placard around, and when people do that, hand it to them. Sheesh, you're more disabled than me.
I actually did that one. I actually did that one time. Not with a one of my other favorite things to do though was one time one of the LGBT like ally people tried to come up to me and like proposition me to join the little cult or whatever, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and I told them, I'm like, well, I feel really sorry for you, and they're like, why is that? I'm like, well, because my disability might be physical, but that's it. I'm like, you're fucking retarded with the with your whole line of logic.
I used to
They
have an
do.
uncle, and he had a fucking fake leg, and he used to fuck with people. He'd go to the beach and kick his leg off, and then crawl up on the beach. Ah, shark attack! One of my favorite things though, because we were walking around Walmart, and he's like, "Hey, watch this!" And he went to the shoe section, and he sat down with a pair of fucking shoes at the try-on bench. And he started kind of fucking with his shoe, and fucking employee finally walked around like, "You need any help?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get my shoe off to try this on. You think you could help me?" And she's tried to pull the shoe off, pulled his whole fucking leg off. He's like, "Ah!"
Oh god. Yeah,
The point I'm trying to make is that everybody should have a crippled friend. They're fucking fun. Really fuck with the public at large with them.
everyone should have at least one retard friend too. And what's really funny is if you ask someone with Down syndrome how many genders there are, guess what they always answer?
No.
They either answer two or banana. Either
Right.
w-
I've
either
had
of
turtles.
either of which are infinitely more appropriate than 57 and counting.
What's your favorite food, Billy? I like the brown crayons best. You know what? You might say I'm going to hell, and yes, you're right. But because of my retard friend, I get to cut to the front of the line, assholes.
We might both be going to hell, but at least I'll get this air conditioning an hour.
Right? Yeah, we're going to be laughing all the way to the front of the line because I'm going to sit in your lap and we're going to roll right to the front, motherfucker. All these people with working legs are going to have to stand there for fucking ever to get their pennants. We're just going to go right to the front.
That reminds me of the old joke. So one day in heaven, Saint Peter's wondering why it's so damn hot. So he makes all these calls and he can't figure out what's going on. He finally calls Satan, and Satan goes, "Oh yeah, it's thanks for sending that HVAC guy here. Everything's really cool, and we got the AC fixed. Hell is no longer hot here. It's great. It's heavenly, in fact." So,
was it you that told me the heaven joke about stepping on a duck?
No.
Have you ever heard the stepping on the duck joke? Okay, so if it wasn't you, I'm stealing somebody else's joke. I can't remember who fucking told me this, but it's pretty fucking funny. His 3 women die in a car crash on their way to a fucking Sisterhood of Traveling Pants convention or whatever. Whatever fucking white women do. And they get up to the pearly gates, and St. Peter's like, "Hi, welcome. We got everything you need. There's bidet, there's house. You do whatever you want. But as you notice, we got a lot of ducks up here, and the only rule that you can't break is don't step on a duck." They're okay, cool. So they go around. They're having a great time eating ice cream, whatever the fuck white women do. And then all of a sudden, one of them accidentally steps on the duck, goes quack, pop. St. Peter pops up. He's like, "I'm sorry, but you stepped on a duck. You got to come with me." He grabs her arm. Poof, they're gone. And the other 2 women are kind of freaked out, but eventually they get back into the swing of things. They're like watching 50 Shades of Grey or, again, whatever fucking white women do. And all of a sudden, one of them trips over a fucking duck. Quack. Oh, shit. Here comes St. Peter. He's like, "I'm sorry, but you got to come with me." Grabs her arm. Poof, they're gone. And the other woman, she was very fucking careful. She was always the most careful of them all. Everything she had, all of her bills paid all the fucking time. She was a good friend. And she went several years, everything. She was fine. One day, St. Peter showed up. And he said, "You know what? You've done really good. You followed the only rule. You haven't, you've really helped people get their feet up here and everything. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to, you've been lonely since your friends left. So I'm going to get you a friend. But before that, I'm going to let you ask any question that you want to ask, and I'll answer it honestly." So, okay, well, I'm really curious. What happens to the people when they step on a duck? It's like, yeah, we get that a lot. Whenever someone steps on a duck, we take them and make them be married to the ugliest person we can find. And she's like, "Oh, well, that doesn't sound too bad." He's like, "Yeah, well, anyway, here's your new friend. His name is Mark, and you're married now." And she says, "Hi, Mark. How'd you get here?" He's like, "I don't know. I stepped on a fucking duck." It's a bit of a Shaggy Dog joke, but I like it. It's quite quaint.
I like those types of jokes too, where there's a bit of a build up. So,
will you indulge me for one more? I've got another one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So there was this grade class, 5th graders stuff. And in this class, there was a boy named Billy. And nobody liked Billy because he was fucking weird. One day they all showed up to class. The teacher said, all right, today, class, we're going to stand up and you're going to tell a story about what your parents do for a living. And then in the end, you need to find a way to have a moral to the story. So she says, all right, Susie, you're up. And Susie says, hi, my name is Susie, and my dad works at a chicken farm. And his job is to, fuck. I'm forgetting the fucking order of shit. What was Susie's dad's job? His job was to take all the eggs and take them across town. So he'll get all the eggs, gather them up in the cart, and he'll take it there, but it's bumpy, so some of the eggs break. And the moral to that story is an egg in the hand is worth two in the bush or whatever. I don't fucking know. I'm fucking this all up. It doesn't matter. We'll get there. And so, okay. All right. Bruce. And Bruce says, hi, my name's Bruce. My dad also works at the chicken farm, and his job is to take the chickens to the processing plant. So he loads up all the chickens, but he doesn't have enough room. He's got an order for 50 chickens, but he's only got enough room for 20. So he takes 20 chickens, and he knows the eggs turn into chickens, so he puts 30 eggs on there. And then he takes them across town, and he figures, by the time they get there, the eggs will have hatched, and they'll have chickens. Well, he gets there, and only 20 of the eggs hatch, so he's 10 short. The moral of that story is don't count your chickens before they hatch. Anyway, so finally, all right, Billy, your turn. Billy gets up, and Billy says, hi, I'm Billy. And my dad don't work at no fucking chicken factory because he went to this place called Vietnam, and he gets disability from it. But one day in Vietnam, he got separated from his squad and woke up in the middle of a rice paddy somewhere near the Viet Cong LZ. And all he had was a AK-47, a bunch of ammo, and a lot of booze. Well, my uncle ain't no fucking quitter, so he got that fucking AK-47, racked around, downed a bottle of whiskey, packed up everything else, and he just took off from the direction. And he came across this village. He didn't know if they were friendly or if they were VC. So he just cracked open another bottle of whiskey, down it, and he started shooting and burning. He killed the women and the children and the livestock, and he fucking raped and pillaged and everything. And then he finally caught up with the squad. He came home and he got disability. And the teacher's like, what the fuck, Billy? What could possibly be the moral to that? And Billy said, the moral to that story is to never invite Uncle Louie to Thanksgiving. I fucking butchered that, but it's a good fucking joke if you can find somebody competent to tell it.
No, yeah, I actually, I think I heard that one on Norm Macdonald one time.
That might be where I fucking got it from. There, a lot of those long inebriation jokes like that are shit that I fucking heard elsewhere.
Yeah, well, Norm was great at those jokes. At those jokes too.
I'm pretty sure it was a Norm Macdonald joke. I'll have to fucking look that up later, but it's fucking priceless. The punchline is don't get Uncle Eddie drunk or some shit.
He does a bit. The thing with Norm's jokes is I can always remember what the punchline is, but I can't remember what the setups are or what the payoff is. But yeah, he was great at that. I mean, no one made making fun of OJ funnier than he did. Honestly.
Did you see where OJ tweeted at Elon Musk asking if he could get verified so that he could be differentiated from all the fake OJ accounts?
I did see that.
Yeah, I swear to God, I'm not making that shit up. Meanwhile, if I was OJ, I wouldn't want to be verified. That way I could be like, it wasn't me. That stock account don't fit.
Oh
And
god!
then,
Oh
oh
god!
fuck,
Yeah.
Count Dankula changed his profile picture to Donald Trump and had all the leftists freaking out because they thought Trump was back. It was fucking
Oh
hilarious.
yeah. That's been both hilarious and annoying to see. Is all these different Donald, all these different real Donald Trump accounts, being like, "I'm back, thanks, Elon."
Yeah, but none of them did it as good as Count Dankula.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh boy. Well, we're butchering Norm Macdonald jokes. I think it might be time to fucking let the audience go.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah.
your intention was to not take hostages, in which case you wrote the manifesto, not me.
No, I mean, we can let the hostages go. So we you know, we're almost at 4 hours anyway. And we even did a show without, we even covered gaming without Akaba. So,
Right? It's almost like we didn't need him after all.
well, he is always appreciated. It's just that he's wrong about the Street Fighter and about Keanu Reeves, apparently.
We did him a great service. We could have spent the entire 4 hours just shit talking him without him being here, but we didn't. We're big boys with big boy chairs.
No. Now he'll just have to scour through this episode to
find all the points where we were talking shit about him.
Yeah, as usual. That's why I like to run it long. So
as soon as we got off here, I'm gonna tweet at him, be like, "Good luck finding the part where I gave you a compliment."
That reminds me, just real quick, when I was after I interviewed Vickers, one of the things I tweeted out was I asked Vickers the really deep questions that everyone wants the answers to. So then I just had people scrolling throughout the episode, and they a lot of them
Where
got
the
pissed
fuck are these questions? This is all about coins. What the fuck?
what the fuck? This is the most mundane. What, he's just talking about him being a small business owner. What? There's no drama in that. What the hell? What the hell? I know.
I'll say this. Sometimes when I have trouble sleeping, I'll DM Vickers and be like, "Hey, what's the difference between this coin and that coin?" And then I'm asleep within 20 minutes. Just fucking sleep like a baby.
Yeah. Well. Ask him his opinion on NFTs, and you'll get an earful. So.
The only reason it takes 20 minutes to put me to sleep is because that's like 7 Vickers breaks.
that man does need to pee a lot. So.
Ariana told him that he couldn't fucking tweet while he was pissing anymore because she was tired of scrubbing the walls.
What else is he supposed to tweet? That's the best place to tweet, is when you're on the
Yeah,
toilet.
I mean, between beating up infants in the front yard and fucking collecting lightsabers, when did he find the time?
Don't forget raising his grandson too.
I said beating up infants in the front yard. God damn it!
Oh yeah, you did. I was just like, which one? Since they're all.
What am I, a council of tarded evil? I know my Vickers lore. I may not be able to talk very much about it this month, but I know my Vickers lore.
You know it better. You know it better than most. At this point, you probably know it better than he does. Even. to an extent.
You would be surprised how many times we'll be having to fucking remember something and we'll fucking DM each other. Hey, I forget, what was this part? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember it.
I'm sure. I've actually had.
I did do that last week. I was like, which fucking court filing was it that had the screenshots of me? Oh yeah, that was the DVRO response. Oh yeah, I got that one. I got that. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to keep up with all this is, I got to give Josh credit for that, for at least, organizing the whole thing. So
it was really hard for me in the beginning, like back in, I think it's 2020, when all that shit was really fucking heavy. And it was really hard, not because there was a lot of it to know, it's just because I didn't know what I could and couldn't talk about at specific times. Because I had to plan shit out a little bit on when I could fucking bring it and everything, and when I could actually have access to the receipts. That part was a little difficult, but everything else is fucking cake. Some nights the hardest part was finding which fucking song I was gonna fucking tag in on the fucking post.
Yeah, for real. So, but yeah.
Did we talk about politics? I can't remember.
Well, depending on how you look at it, the whole entire show is politics. So
it works for me. I didn't want to make you a liar.
Just a yeah, I'm not sure if we made any predictions other than hoping that there's a red wave, but
a red wave is my prediction, just for the record.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say red wave as well, but that might be more wishful thinking at this point.
I think it'll be a red wave at least up until 3 a.m. when the unmarked vehicles show up.
Exactly. Yeah, no, there you go. That's my prediction. So, but anyway, yeah, if you're down to come Tuesday, I'll figure out when we're gonna do the stream specifically, and maybe we can get you and Max, and oh my god, oh dear god,
me and Max could tear some shit up. You think me and you could fucking go long? Me and Max can go fucking forever.
The episode I did with Max was like 6 hours long when he was on here. So, the first 2 hours was just spent talking about our similarities in the podcasting sphere. So
yeah.
But all right, sir. Well, thanks for coming on, and thanks to any of you who are still watching this. So,
thanks for anybody that's not dead in the nosebleeds.
We'll be back on Tuesday for the election special. Until then, keep your head up, and Apex, wherever you are, I hope you're not dead. Love you. So.
Hit the button.
Hitting the button now.
Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless. God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.